Oh, man.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. MLB Draft is here. I know we like to say that the minor league opening day is kind of our Christmas, but this is Christmas part 2 because why not? It's super fun. Justin Latta, host of Guardians of the Future. Jared Zyber, our good buddy, hasn't been on live with us yet. He's making his Guardians of the Future debut. Helps us get ready for the MLB Draft with Willie Hood. Will hopefully join us later, but we're going live here after pick 5 for the Guardians. Jared, thanks for coming on and making your Guardians of the Future debut, man.
Yeah, long time coming. Finally convinced me to do it after a couple.
Yeah, well, we're still going to say everything's your fault, even though you're here.
Rightly, I mean, it works for everything. You might as well.
If you're not familiar with this is Jared, who we always blame everything on. It's always Jared's fault. This has been interesting so far. I didn't expect the Tigers to go Max Clark. I got to be honest. No. I kind of thought they'd go Langford.
Yeah, the top 5 were pretty set. I mean, it was just a matter of what kind of order they go in. I was not anticipating them Clark going there at all. But you never know. I mean, you never know price tags and what teams have in mind for, down the board and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame the Pirates for going Paul Skeens. Like, I know Cruz and Langford are pretty darn good. Maybe they could have gotten Langford a lot cheaper, but, like, I feel like there was no wrong pick between those three at 1-1. Like, you could.
No. Yeah, I mean,
be good.
Yeah, I'm sure they all. And, it really depends on. You could justify any one of those three, really. So, yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you need, and you could really kind of be picky between the three, which is not normally the case.
You said, bonuses too. Depends on what they had worked out money wise.
Right.
I got to say though, I'm super glad once the Tigers went Clark, I was like, oh man, I feel like the Rangers were destined for like Walker Jenkins or Kyle Teal, and I was super nervous that. Langford was going to fall to 5 for the Twins. I'm like, I don't want to see Langford.
No, that would have been
however many times a year for the Twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people who feel like Langford might have more upside than Cruz. Like I know Cruz is probably more finished product, but there's people who think that Langford's got some development still coming, which is scary.
Yeah, no. I mean, there is a track record there, but no, I mean, there's definitely some more development to be had with him, which is kind of ridiculous whenever you look at what kind of season he had, especially in the SEC. I mean, you're popping, 2+ to plus hit tool or hitting power right there. So, I mean, that's ridiculous to think about. He could get a little better in each.
Plus, he has a better bet to play center field than I think Cruz, right? Cruz is probably a right fielder.
Yeah, I think Cruz, Langford is sneaky athletic. Like you kind of look at him and you don't see maybe the athleticism like Cruz looks the part a little bit more, if that makes sense. But
I
hope so. This will be interesting.
Twins have the A's made their pick yet? I know we kept saying.
Oh, did not see that coming.
Who did they take? You must be ahead of me. This is going to be interesting.
I am.
Spoil it for me, so we're not behind.
Wilson.
Who'd they take?
Jacob Wilson.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, did not see that coming.
That's fine because you want to know what a lot of people thought that not a lot, I guess, but there were mocks out there that were like saying that Wilson could fall to the Guardians, and I personally,
I think
Baseball America was a perfect game.
Perfect Game put out one like an hour before the draft, and I'm almost positive one that went out today said that they had him going to us at 23, which is I didn't think was possible, but. I mean, they had to cut a deal here.
That leaves Enrique Bradfield to go in an interesting spot now. But I personally do not want Wilson to go to the Guardians because he is just so much like the player they have, and nobody knows if he's going to hit the ball hard enough. Like to me, he feels like Tyler Freeman, but maybe a better defender at shortstop. Overall. Yeah,
he's a good defender. So I think that he's he's going to stick at short for sure and play there pretty well. Yeah, but I mean, you expect a little bit more pop, especially playing, where he does, and he's at Arizona, or in Arizona. You would think he'd put up better power numbers than he did. I mean, he's a good hitter, but
and you're in a weak conference too, so you want to be able to dominate that conference. I'm not saying he'd have a good year; he might be a good player, but
a lot
like the Colt Emerson thing we keep talking about. Like he is just so much like they already have. Like why do you need to stock up on Jacob Wilson's and Colt Emerson? That's an interesting pick though.
Yeah, like I said, that one kind of shocked me a little bit. I mean, you know what? You never know with Oakland always kind of does things a little differently in terms of their picks in the past. I mean, just they went. Who did they go? They went Susac last year. There's Max Muncy. They went. They took Kyler Murray.
I forgot about Kyler Murray. Oh,
the first round pick a few years ago. Yeah.
Why does that feel like a long tank? Maybe they took Kyler Murray, like knowing he wasn't going to sign as part of their long-term tanking thing. Like, well, we're going to blow this pick and hope that in a couple of years we can move to Las Vegas. Like that's such a dumb pick.
That is something. Yeah, no, they're all, like I said, they always kind of do things a little differently there, and they have for a long time. So I guess it should be. It always kind of circle them as okay. What are you going to do, Oakland?
Well, I guess Las Vegas will be a good hitting environment for Jacob.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah.
Reds are taking Rhett Lauder, by the way. According to Joe Doyle.
Oh,
Joe Doyle's got the scoop there.
Okay. Well, I think we had him. I think we had him mocked there at one point. Oh, we do for our last one. Look at that.
All right.
Look at that. That's like 4. I think we got.
That's why you and Willie do that because you guys always know that stuff. I could do Guardians like mocks, but I can't do like other teams. I don't know other teams' tendencies as well as.
Yeah.
I think for the Guardians.
I don't know it to the extent that Willie does. Like he's like
everybody's.
Yeah, he follows everybody. Remember, I need a little bit like refresher and like look up stuff. It's like oh yeah, I have like an idea off the top of my head if who tends to do what, but not like that, dude.
And he said that his kid didn't get his memory from him. I think he did. I think he really did.
Yeah, I don't tend to believe this.
This is interesting. Yeah. Rhett Lauder, that's a fun pick, though. I mean, I think – did you send me something today online that said that there were some elbow concerns, like, leading up to today?
No, Willie sent that, but yeah, you never know. It's that silly season where, a lot of information's getting thrown out there, mostly by, agents and everything, trying to get guys to bump up, go down, whatever. But, yeah, no.
There was somebody who sent me a text today, and it was like – are the Pirates really going to go with the high school outfielder over these college kids? And I'm like, don't believe anything you hear today. Like after 24 hours out, you can't believe any rumors because it's all just agents trying to buy their guys down or get a better deal. Like there's, yeah.
No,
I like Rhett Lauder though. I wish Rhett Lauder could have fallen to the Guardians range, but he's a fun player. But
yeah, he's cool. He's got. I mean, his pitch ability is so advanced and everything, and he just. He's got such a good feel for his off-speed stuff too that you just could see him thriving in our developmental system and everything.
Oh, he would. Our buddy, Jeff Ellis, I co-host Locked On Guardians with. He always says that the Wake Forest guys are finished off developmentally. Like they get to the pros, they don't have a lot left to do. But that's because he doesn't have a lot of guys in the majors. Like who are the best pitchers from Wake Forest that are in the majors? Like Jared Schuster made it this year finally.
Yeah, Schuster
There's not a lot of good examples, I guess.
No, and I don't think they've had a handful of guys over the years but they're more. Yeah, I guess I would want to see like what the next like few years looks like, just because I feel like there was so much talk of them throughout like the college playoffs and in the World Series, how much they've really invested in like their pitching program and like the development and the pitching and everything. So I'm curious what the next like 4 years look like with because they have 3-4 guys here that are going to get drafted in the next 2 days.
I'm still on board with tanking for Kurtz next year. If the Guardians are not going to make the playoffs, just fall all the way down into like top 10 and take Kurtz. I'm all in there. If you're watching on the live stream right now, I'm going to record this and put it out as a regular podcast. So if you don't tune into it live, I'm sorry, but if you're watching live on Twitter, YouTube, you can leave us comments to answer questions in the comment stream. We got one from Gaming with Brian. Who does Cleveland take? Who does Cleveland take? A mock draft said third baseman. He doesn't see that. Well, I think if we all had our druthers, it's Brock Wilken, right?
Yeah, realistically, yeah. I think he'd be the most fun and intriguing in terms of what's available there. Does he follow to a T what we've done in the past? No, but you start seeing last year bucking some trends and what they have been doing, and and he would kind of do that a little bit. It's not like completely taking away the trends. I mean, they like K performers. He has a history of that. He's gotten better. He did a lot better this year in terms of, being more selective, not swinging as many pitches out of the zone. And, I'm trying to figure out if that's what we all just really want that to happen. We're like trying to justify it happening, or if it's something that could actually happen too.
I will wish cast it all night until it actually happens. Like
I'm
if
fine
Brock
with
Wilken is not their pick at 23, I'm just going to keep saying that he's awful and he's going to fall to 58. That's just what I want. I know it's not realistic. But that's what I want. Another question from James Bailey. Do you think Dollander falls into the 20s? Could he go to Cleveland if he does? I loved Chase Dollander last year. He was like the flavor of the week last year, and he's still a good pitcher. But if he gets past like the Angels, I'd be stunned. The Royals, I could see the Royals going there. The Rockies love college pitchers.
Yeah.
The Angels need pitching like now, and Dollander could be up next year. So I can't see him getting past 11.
No, I mean, he was going into the season. He was the favorite to go 1-1. Like it was him or Cruz, really. Like he was the top pitching prospect in college coming into this year, and he backed up this year in terms of like his like performance, and I think for the most part the stuff was still there. I think he just had to clean up some stuff. I think there was a lot of talk. There was just some changes with his delivery that scouts were seeing or something like that they had to change or felt like they wanted to change. But yeah, the talent's there to be really, really stinking good. I mean, he is really good, but the stuff is electric.
Yeah, he was my favorite guy to watch last year. Everybody in that Tennessee team was my favorite to watch last year, and they didn't get one Tennessee player. I was disappointed with that. I wanted Lipscomb. I wanted a couple of guys I knew that weren't in their range, and the same with Wake Forest this year. Like I would have loved Louder. I love Wilken. I know you're a big Tommy Hawk guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's their second baseman? I'm trying to think the kid's name. He kind of fits them a little bit.
Yeah, why can't I think of his name now too? Where's Willie when you need him?
I know Willie knows all the names here. Whoever the second baseman is for Wake Forest, he is kind of their dude too.
Yeah.
We should talk about this kid more because I know Willie and I didn't talk about him a lot on past Guardians of the Futures, but I'd be curious. You're going to know more about him than I would. Are we talking like maybe Bryce Matthews slides up to 23? Is that like a possibility? Is that an overdraft? Because he's gotten more interesting as like the last week has gone on. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like we really didn't think about. I never thought about really him, being there at 23. Yeah, I don't know. It's something that he's a talented guy for sure, and you can kind of picture it and see it. What he brings to the table and everything, but I haven't really thought about that, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I just saw him on Willie's Guardians type hitters, and I'm like, well, because he has them listed with like Nolan Chanel and Brock Wilken and Colt Emerson and Dylan Head and Kevin McGonigal, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a guy. Like he's got him listed in the CBA to 2 range.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he's an underslot guy.
Yeah, I think he would have to be like an underslot type fit and see what you do with it after. But yeah,
I need to know, like, if you're doing, I've been asking this question for weeks. I need to know if you're going underslot at 23. I just need to know where the savings are going. Like, you got to have a guy in mind for that.
Yeah, well, they like to push the money down a little bit. It's always like it's not necessarily that second, third, fourth type round. It's usually a little later. You're getting a guy in you're getting a guy like in the 7th round for 3rd or 4th round money or something like that. So you're not going to really know that until, when this whole thing's said and done, or well, not even that, whenever all the signings, everyone's signed and everything, and they're going to sign them. So okay, let's see what the Royals are going to do.
It's an interesting pick. I won't spoil it for you, but it's an interesting pick. Not where I thought the Royals would go, but I'm kind of jealous because I like this kid.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. I love Blake Mitchell.
Didn't the Royals took a catcher we all liked last year, 2 years ago?
We got this right too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Next year in Cleveland.substack.com where Willie and Jared get all the picks right.
No, I remember like I think the first year that me and Willie did a mock was 2020. And we got I didn't get any right in the first he got like 2 or 3. It was something really, really bad. But this one, we're knocking it out so far. I'm impressed.
Yeah, let's see, Skeens, Cruz, the Tigers screwed you up there, and then the Rangers obviously benefited from that. And the Twins had a bit of a domino effect, but Reds, Rhett Lauder, and Royals, Blake Mitchell. So your mock has Enrique Bradfield of the Rockies next. So I feel like it's either Bradfield or what, Dollander, maybe?
I could see Dollander here, yeah. Or you know what? Like, the Rockies, I don't know. I think you could make a case for Noble Meyer here, too.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm the Rockies, I think taking a prep pitcher is a big risk. They took who was that kid from Gonzaga last year? Gabe Hughes?
Yeah, Gabriel Hughes, yeah.
I liked Gabe Hughes a lot. I knew he wasn't going to get there.
Yeah.
But I want the other Gonzaga kid this year. I want Owen Wild, who's a lower pick, but that's the kid I like this year. He sounds a ton like Eli Morgan.
Yeah, and Willie did his 20-round mock today, and he gave us him.
He had him.
Yeah, we hadn't taken him. So what we got here?
Kyle Teal's still out there. Namala's still out there.
Yeah.
Dollander's still there. Bradfield, Shaw, Tommy Troy. I mean, okay, if we can't, I mean, I know this is probably more wish casting than Brock Wilken, but I mean, if Matt Shaw's there for any unforsaken reason, I feel like Matt Shaw is the guy you have to jump on a plane and fly him to Arizona right now.
You'd see Manfred sprinting to the podium to if he's there. But you know what? I mean, you never know, because like I did not see Jacob Wilson going, as high as he did.
That's true. That did throw a wrench in some things. There were a lot of people who thought that the A's would be in on Kyle Teal too, which would be weird because they have Langoliers and Soderstrom, even though Soderstrom's probably not a catcher, or he's mostly playing first.
Right. Wasn't he having kind of a rough time in development? I thought at one point he was good, but then he was struggling. I don't know. I kind of stopped following him for a little bit there.
Last year, for a point there, he was struggling, and then I think he took off, and then he's been on a roll since. So I think things are pretty good for him now. I have not double checked that, but I do know there was a point last year where things were kind of shaky for him.
Right.
He did start hitting the crap out of the ball at one point because he was going to at some point anyway.
Yeah, the dude could hit. That's what got him drafted, was his ability to hit.
Jeremy Booth of what is he listed with? The Future Stars Foundation. He's got Dollander here for the Rockies, he says. So
we'll see if he's right. I mean, that would make sense.
It's a guy. Yeah, he's a guy. I mean, if they weren't going to go Dollander, I think it was Bradfield, to be honest, because Bradfield patrolling that outfield makes a ton of sense for them, and using that speed. Yeah,
and you're going to get more power out of him in Colorado potentially too. I mean,
you'll get more extra base hits from him because he's going to turn singles into doubles and doubles into triples in that ballpark. So even if he's not hitting the ball over the wall, you're still getting extra bases because of the speed and the size of the outfield. So
but he's got more power than people really give him credit for. Yeah, it's in. I mean, I can't remember what he had. I think he had 8 or 6 or every year he had 6, 7, 8 home runs, and his swing is not. It's not a beautiful swing either. He's got some work to do with it, and I think they could get a little more pop out of there. I mean, power's not his game, and it'll still be, at best a 40 grade power, but
yeah, it's still for a guy who can steal 50 bases. If you're getting 10, 15 home runs out of that guy, that's pretty good. That's I hate to say the Kenny Lofton comp, but if it all goes well, if he maxes out his potential,
right? He's that type of player. Not necessarily. I mean, you don't want to be he's a Hall of Famer or anything, but he's, he walks more than he strikes out. He gets on base like crazy. That's actually the fewest amount of stolen bases. I'm just looking up his stats real quick. This year. He had 37 stolen bases, and actually he was caught 7 times. So that's actually kind of interesting, but. Let's see.
I know you guys liked him for the Guardians at one point too, and I was like, I don't know, I guess he could be a good talent. I just worry that he needs a swing, he needs a swing change, and the Guardians are probably not the right organization for that. If you're tuning in, we got a couple viewers here. If you're listening live, feel free to drop us some comments and some questions. You can do that on Twitter if you're still on that hellhole machine too. We all are.
It is Dollander. It was Dollander.
It is Dollander. Okay, well,
that throws it off there. Yeah, there was no way he was.
projected at 22. I wonder if Jeff I didn't look at Jeff's recent mock, but I wonder if Jeff had him 22 on his big board or if he had him number 22 as the mock pick. That's what I'm wondering. I didn't check on that.
Who is this, Bradfield or Dollander?
Dollander. Jeff.
Okay.
James said that Jeff Ellis had him 22, and I don't know if that's mock or if that's just big board, because the big board and the mock are two different things. The big board is who you like. The mock is who you think is what you think will happen.
Yeah, totally different things.
Miami. This will be interesting. This is why we got on around pick 5, because this is where the draft kind of starts to turn. The top 5 was almost guaranteed in some order, and then of course it got to pick 6 and things got weird.
This was like the most, like I feel like this year was like the easiest top 5 that I can recall, like just being like, oh, these 5 guys are probably going to go in the top 5, and it's in what order, who knows, but after that you're like
that's what's fun about it. And that's why it's so good. Yeah, I think it was somebody made a good point. I don't know if it was Jeff or somebody else or you or Willie, but all the guys that didn't get picked in 2020 because of the shortened draft all went to college, and here they all are 3 years later. So like Brock Wilken, he might have been picked in 2020 and never got to college, but because he didn't get picked, he got to college. And
I think any other year Wilken probably goes higher. Really, to be honest, like if you're talking like an average, because I think this is actually the depth in this draft. I mean, there's some I'm going all over the place, but like there's some quality college arms in this draft. It's not like the high end type stuff, but like there's depth in it. But like the college bats this year are really good, and I think
college pitchers, who benefits from that the most? College pitchers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't have to, but you don't have to take a pitcher in the first round to get a good talent this year. Like that's the nice thing for the Guardians is you don't gotta grab the top college arm with the 23rd pick. You can wait till the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. You'll find dudes like Zach Thornton and all these guys that are all over the place.
Yeah, I mean they have their niche. They know what they look for. They know how to develop certain things. And the college pitching is just they've kind of figured out what they look for and how to get the most out of these guys for the most. I mean, I don't want to say for the most part, but they do a really good job of hitting on like 1 or 2 guys every year. So that like helps a great deal with, getting, pushing guys down the board. Well, we don't really necessarily need to grab a college arm in round 1 or, your comp A or B pick or something like that.
That's the thing. Like I was thinking, there's like no Gavin. I mean, I don't know. Is there Gavin Williams in this draft? Because like we all thought, oh wait, Gavin Williams gets a 23 for the Guardians, and I'm like, is there a guy like that this year, pitcher wise? I don't think there is. Maybe Waldrop.
I would say Waldrop is kind of that, but the thing with Williams was he performed that year. Yeah. I mean, he didn't have like necessarily the track record because prior to like at ECU he did a lot more relieving and. He kind of like got into the starting, there as a starter later on, but his stuff and he performed really, really well. Where, Waldrop, I think he's been in there for a while. People have known about him. I mean, he's a transfer this year, so I think there's some differences in terms of that Waldrop kind of. But but he's a Florida guy, and there's a lot of people complaining that they're not utilizing him properly in terms of like his pitching ability and
what? I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. That's common for Florida. I mean, they figure out what works for them to win, and maybe not necessarily what might be best for this kid in terms of development or whatever. And we've literally drafted a bunch of Florida guys in the last 4 or 5 years.
And Leftwich got hurt, but he came back, and we'll see what happens to him. I like him. Mace threw 6 innings of shutout ball the other day.
Oh,
and Franco Alleman, man, he has been fantastic since he got to Akron. So he was the guy who was like kind of the dart throw, but man, this stuff is so good. They I don't know, they have on the right track there. How about this? Chip Callis, by the way, had Jack Wilson at 6 2 hours ago.
Wow.
And he had Chase Dollander at 9, and he says Noble Meyer at 10. So, and that seems to be the pick. Noble Meyer's going 10.
Wow. Okay.
I like that for the Marlins. The Marlins have done a great job pitching development wise too. They've got a ton of fun arms. So that's a good landing spot for Noble Meyer. I was kind of hoping that maybe Noble Meyer got to 23. If they were going to take a high school arm, which, obviously I am 100% against the Guardians taking a high school arm in the first round. But if they did, Noble Meyer was the only guy I could see. So he's off the board, which means the Guardians are not allowed to take a high school arm in the first round now.
And I don't think there's. I don't think we go after someone like Thomas White or
Soto.
Even Soto. Yeah, Soto to a degree. I don't see that really, especially because Soto is more of a relatively new to pitching than some of the other guys are. But no, Noble Meyer is super polished. Like, he's a high school arm, but like, I can almost guarantee if he was there at 23, unless like signability was an issue, their guy, because he's
committed.
Oregon State, I believe.
Ooh, okay, and they've turned out some good players over the last couple of years too. So
correct,
that would have been a good landing spot for him.
Right, and he's from Oregon, so it makes sense. I think he went to the same high school as.
Oh yeah, there's somebody I'd read about that.
Was it Mick Abel?
Yes, Mick Abel. That was right.
Yeah,
so you do have a good memory. You have Willie's memory.
Yeah, that was only a couple years ago.
All right, so where are we at? We got 11 Angels here. The Angels will do something weird because they'll take a guy that could be up next season. Which
it
could be Matt Shaw.
It could be. Yeah, we had them taking Dollander with our last mock.
So you guys are all messed up now.
Yeah, we're all messed up all over the place. Well, they're kind of
Namala is now out of the top 10. Probably is out of the top 10, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
Angels are not going to go Namala. I don't know what the Diamondbacks will do, but I don't know. Angels are going to pick somebody that could be up next season.
Angels tend to go. They for the most part they go college first round. The last one, two. I'm looking right now. 1, 2, 3. Last four drafts first round they've gone college. So we'll see.
They've got 3 picks from their draft last year already up. They had Ben Joyce up, Zach Neto up, and who was the other kid that just came up, the pitcher? They just called somebody else up from last year's draft too.
Shoot.
I don't know who it is, but they just keep doing this. And I feel like it's not good for those kids either, though, because they're not ready.
Neto's like shown flashes, and Ben and Joyce is what he is. It makes sense, like maybe Joyce getting up there quick just because, a guy that's throwing 103 4, you might as well bring him up and see what you can get out of him in terms of he might run out of bullets pretty quick there, but yeah, I don't know. I could see them going a couple different routes here. There's quite a bit, like in terms of there's a lot. This is kind of all over the place. That's what's really fun about this year is because I don't know, you could really make a case for almost anyone going pretty much anywhere really. After those first 5 picks, it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, like you said, there's just so much depth out there, and just depends on your preference. College hitters obviously really good. Like you said, the college pitching depth is good. Just it's not high end talent. Kyle Teal's still on the board. I forgot about Kyle Teal being on the board. So what on earth?
He would fit here.
Yeah, because he could be a quick mover too. You're right.
Oh yeah, no, he would fit. He would go right up there. They like their college performers. They went. Last year, Zach Neto, Sam Bachman, the pitcher, year before.
I forgot about Bachman.
From Miami. Yeah. Reed Detmers and Will Wilson the year before that. So, they like their college performers.
I guess they'll challenge. How fast can you promote? We're going to rush this guy to the majors. The Angels will be like, yeah, we don't care.
We don't care. We just want him to the majors as fast as possible to make it look like he's really good.
Although they may not have Shohei Ohtani next year, so
that's true.
They may not, and who knows? The Angels are selecting Nolan Chanel. Oh God!
Oh, so a college performer.
There you go. All right. Well, that's the first legitimate Guardians guy that we thought could have been a possibility off the board. I like Chanel to a point.
Yeah.
There was small school concerns with Chase DeLauder.
Yeah.
Chase DeLauder crushed on the Cape. Nolan Chanel did not.
Right.
And I feel like there's just a big hole at the top of Chanel's swing because it's so uppercutted and it's so geared towards fly balls that he's going to have a hard time hitting balls at the top of the zone, and major league pitchers are going to figure that out. That was my only concern. But I mean, 71 walks, 14 strikeouts. I know it's a bad conference, but
that's insane.
That's absolutely insane.
But it's not a great conference, but you're still seeing good stuff. It's not like it's, like a D2 kid or, some really, really low level Northern Conference or something like that.
Well, so we were saying about Jacob Wilson, right? Like if you're going to be in a bad, I don't want to say bad conference. That makes it seem like they're bad. I'm sure there's good players out there, but if you're going to be in a non-power 5, you have to go out and absolutely dominate. And that's what Chenal did. Jacob Wilson didn't. I mean, he had great numbers, but Nolan Chenal went out there and absolutely owned that conference this year. So give him credit for that, right?
Right. Like, I mean, if you're going to pick a college performer, I mean, you got to really dominate. He did it. So, I mean, good on him. But yeah, the track record really isn't there in terms of, super high competition and with wood bats on top of that. So it's kind of hard to kind of gauge a little bit in terms of what you're going to get.
So that's kind of the first guy off the board Guardians wise. So Kyle Teal still moving down. Maybe the dream's alive. I know you guys love Kyle Teal. I can't imagine he's getting to 23, but
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why he would get to 23. It just wouldn't make sense because, I mean, he's a junior in college. Like, he's performed at a really high level in a really good conference against really good competition at the highest level. Good, quality defender at a prime position. So it's like, why would he fall to there?
I don't know. Joe Doyle is saying Tommy Troy to the Diamondbacks.
Tommy Troy. Okay. I mean, I mean, that makes sense.
Although somebody else is now saying Kyle Teal to the Diamondbacks.
Ooh, now we get to wait. We got to wait. Ooh. Yeah. We got 12. Okay. Oh, we have Colin Hawk going there.
Welcome to our buddy Mike the Mad Thinker to the stream again. If you're listening, we got quite a few listeners right now. Feel free to drop some comments in if you got questions. Hit us on Twitter if you're listening on Twitter. Feel free to comment or send us any questions. Because where are we at right now? We're at pick 12, so we still got almost 11 picks to go. Yeah, the Guardians are expected to pick at like 8:52. I think is the time.
Roughly. It'll be here.
I don't know if I'm staying on to the 58th pick. I think we'll talk about all the picks leading up to it and maybe do some aftermath. I don't think I could stay on till the 58th pick tonight.
No, that's a lot of talk.
Yeah. I'm already going to be talked at. I already did a Lockdown Guardians episode before this. So I'm already midway through this workday.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday. I'm delivering.
Huh. Come on.
Why do we need advertisers? Who cares about the advertisers?
Yeah, who cares? Stop trying to make
money. Yeah, Major League Baseball doesn't need any of that. Rob Manfred is already going to sell the Athletics to Las Vegas to make up for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what route the Diamondbacks go. I mean, they're kind of all over the place a little bit. They don't tend to follow necessarily there's not necessarily like a trend in like if they're picking college or high school. It's kind of like, well, the last couple of years they had such high picks. I mean, you got Jordan Lawler and Drew Jones and those guys the last 2 years. So it's kind of hard to figure out what they might do whenever they're a little bit further back here.
They've built a really good system though. Like
they have.
Their pitchers haven't been fantastic, but their hitters have been good. And I'm trying to think they did kind of develop Zach Gallen. They got him from Miami, but I think was he a prospect when they got him?
I'm trying to remember.
Because that was the Jazz Chisholm trade.
Right. Oh, shoot. I can't remember. It's whenever you get into stuff like that, my memory is garbage. Like I'm good with like the Guardian stuff or draft stuff, but whenever we get into who was a prospect,
are you doing immaculate grids? Have you been doing any grids?
Mm-hmm. I didn't get it today. I didn't get one today. So
yeah, I had a bit of a slip up, and I forgot it was 30 steals and not 30 homers. And I was like, random. I was trying to think of the most random 30 home run season by a Rangers player, and I answered Hank Blaylock, and I'm like, it was 30 steals, not 30 homers. Which
Well,
blew
that's
it for me.
what's so tricky about like that too. It's like you want like to get like those like really, really, really difficult picks too, not like the real obvious ones.
Right.
And it
I feel
is
like you need two games. You need to do a time-based one where like how quick can you just name any player that's played for these teams or won this award? Or you could pick try to get the best rarity score one. You need two options.
I agree. We got it is Tommy Troy, so
that's a nice pick for him.
Yeah, he dude just hits and hits and
are
hits.
we past the time where remember it used to be like don't take Stanford hitters because they never have good hitting mechanics, they don't pan out in the majors. Are we past that finally?
No, it's been the same. I can't remember the coach's name, but it's the same coach that's been there. So I don't know until they prove wrong. But the dude just hits though. Like no matter where he was at, like
Cape performer, yeah,
Cape performer. Like he didn't like he never. It was like he had some ridiculous stat. It was they're talking about it now, and I didn't hear exactly, but it was like on facing velocity, he never swung and missed at a pitch above 95 miles per hour.
Wow.
So when he swung, he always put it in play. So it's just ridiculous.
Wow.
That was the case, at least in the College World Series in like their first game. I'm not sure if it stayed true, but it was, I know at one point it was 0 in his career that he swung and missed at 95 plus.
This is a good point. I saw Jeff Ellis just tweet that Kyle Teal falling is maybe a knock on the recent lack of success for Virginia hitters, which, makes sense because there are not a lot of good Virginia hitters out there. And
yeah, no. I mean, they're another one just like Stanford that they don't have a great track record with putting guys into, pro ball and, having some major success. I can't recall like the most recent Virginia hitter who was taken who has done a really good job.
I mean, I know from Cleveland's perspective, you got Brandon Geyer and I think who was it? Mark Reynolds.
Ernie Clement was a Virginia guy, wasn't he?
That's right. Oh no, Joe Doyle says Matt Shaw to the Cubs. The dream is dead.
Oh, those jerks. Let's see, who do we have the Cubs taking? We went with.
So that's more Kyle Teal falling.
You know who's still out there is Jacob Gonzalez from Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that because I kind of just gave up on not scouting him, but like I didn't scout him, but I just did watching video. But I kind of gave up on looking harder at him because I just kind of figured he wouldn't get to the Guardians pick. But
no,
I agree. Performed very well in the SEC.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, he's I mean, a 3-year starter at Ole Miss. Like he started at shortstop right out of the gate there.
Wow.
Yeah, he started as a freshman and he performed. So I did not anticipate him being this far. I kind of forgot about him. That's kind of crazy. I mean,
there was some. Oh no, you know what? I think someone like Hiram or somebody asked us, "Would you be okay with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd be okay with Jacob Gonzalez because the SEC performance backs it up." But I just assumed he was not going to be there. I totally just forgot about him.
Yeah, I did too. I would just like. I mean, I've obviously known about him because I follow college baseball, very closely, and he's been in the SEC at Ole Miss for 3 years performing. So I kind of knew that he was, he was going to go high this year, but I didn't really anticipate him being here at 13 potentially. Yeah, there goes Shaw. Shoot,
that's a great pick for the Cubs, man. Because I wonder if that makes them more likely to trade a guy like Ian Happ. Although Happ's an outfielder for them right now. He's not playing second base anymore. So.
Yeah, he's an out. I mean, but he wasn't.
At one time, Happ played second base, I thought.
I would say Happ was an infielder at one point.
Yeah, I think he just played
for them. Oh, that's just so good. He was a pipe dream.
He's going to hit 25 home runs in that ballpark.
Oh, yeah. He'll hit 25 home runs, hit like 280, 290.
Steal 15 bases.
Steal 15 bases, get on base, be like a real, like,
pain
real
in the ass.
Real pain in the ass player that everyone wants on their team.
And he might even be like, he could be a guy who moves quickly too. He could be up in 2 years. Like,
easily.
I could see him being up very quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Shaw's gone. Troy's gone. That's a run on Guardians type players right there. Chenal,
yeah, it is.
Troy and Shaw.
Gonzalez is there still. Namala's there.
The Red Sox might turn this thing on its ear.
Yeah, but they're pushing. Like I said, those guys are pushing down. You have Gonzalez getting pushed down. You have Bradfield getting pushed down. Namala's getting pushed down.
I saw a mock that had the Red Sox being interested in Colt Emerson. And I'm like, oh, well, that would be interesting because that would take him off the board for Cleveland. And I don't want to anybody like is friends with Colt Emerson or his family's listening like ever. I don't want to discount that he's not a good player. He's a good player. It's just the Guardians need to diversify their portfolio. And
we're just filled with guys like him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go by the model, he would make sense. Like,
yeah, I just have like all the mocks have gone two ways. It's been Emerson or Brock Wilken. Like that seems to be what everybody's landed on for them.
Yeah, that's been the most. I feel like the consensus, and it's like depending, and I feel like it's easy, like depending on which one you're reading, it could like flip like the next one. So like if Baseball America put out, or it's typically like Pipeline. Like if Pipeline put out Emerson one week, the next week they put out Wilken. I think they just keep going back and forth depending on everything.
I could say we got it right in one of these picks.
Yeah.
So and Enrique Bradfield's still hanging on too. Like,
yeah, they're pushing everything down.
You know who I could see Enrique Bradfield up is the Giants. The Giants love college hitters. Yeah, and they like their outfielders. I don't think he gets there to 23, but I'm surprised he's fallen this far, to tell you the truth, especially with the way the game is going.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at like a lot of like big boards and stuff, there was a lot of shifting in the last like couple of weeks. So like Jacob Gonzalez was like a consensus like top 8 to 5-ish type guy throughout most of the year, but like Pipeline has him as like rated 18th. So I guess it's not super super surprising, but college performers, especially with track records, they always tend to go higher than not. So I guess it's a little bit. It's still a little bit of a interesting tidbit there.
I'm just seeing some stories out there about Blake Mitchell going to the Royals, and I'm trying to think of that catcher they took. Who was the kid that we liked from Missouri that we're like, they won't take a Missouri player because they've got risks? Who was that catcher?
The Royals took him?
Yeah, it was like last year or 2 years ago. Who's that catcher in their system?
Missouri.
I'm gonna be really mad when I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't. Why am I?
He's a catcher. No, not Tresh. Carter Jensen.
Okay. Yep.
Really liked Carter Jensen. They took him in the third round. Things are well. He's doing okay. He's in. Jensen's in high A. He's got kind of a high strikeout rate, but a good walk rate. Not much power. He's not hitting, but he's only 20 years old. And that was the guy I went. I'm like, man, they want Carter Jensen in the third round a few years ago, and now they're going with Blake Mitchell. Yeah. With Blake Mitchell, but hey, keep taking catchers because
Yeah. Who needs catchers?
Not Cleveland, obviously. No catchers. No, I think we need. What catchers do we need? What catchers are you wanting to collect? I mean, I don't know if Cole Carrig's not a catcher, but you guys are big on Michael Carriaco from Davidson. I'm not sure about him.
I like him. I like Alex Sosa. He's a high school catcher from Florida. I think he's got way more potential there. Zion Rose I love, but he, like everyone said, he's going to school. I don't think he's
that's right.
Realistic option there. Connor Burns is the guy that me and Willie really liked. The Long Beach State catcher. He will play professional baseball, but just because of his defense alone is so good. It's just a hope if you can. I mean, he hit I think it was 14 or 15 home runs this year. So I think if you can really tap into and get something out of there, get some power out of there, you have an Austin Hedges type player. Potentially with Burns, but his arm and athleticism behind the plate, he's so good.
I could see that. So the Guardians should take him, but that means they won't.
Correct. Oh, there goes Teal. There goes Teal.
Teal to
the Red Sox.
Oh, that makes sense because they need a catcher. Who is? I don't know what catchers they have right now, but they're playing.
No clue.
Yeah, they have. They have the Connor Wong, who's been pretty good for them. He was in. He was. I think they got him from the Dodgers in the Mookie Betts trade. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a nice pick for them. That's a good pick. Teal to the Red Sox. Okay, so that keeps things a little bit more interesting. I mean, that's a long way for him to fall when people thought he was a top 5 or top, I guess not top 5, but maybe a 6 or 7 guy. All right, so you got the White Sox, the Giants, the Orioles coming up here.
White Sox, Giants, Orioles.
Bryce Eldridge to the White Sox. That just seems like a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, we had Noble Meyer going there in our last mock. So I mean, they like, yeah. Yeah, I could see it. They went, Noah Schultz last year. Year before that, Colson Montgomery. So I could see him going Bryce Eldridge.
Colin Houck is still there. I kind of forgot about Colin Houck too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about him. He's a guy I didn't really look into deeper because I knew he wouldn't be there for the Guardians either.
Yeah, he's just not going to be there. I mean, I'm just curious if he's a hard sign possibly, just because he's got the tools. I mean, he's gonna stick at short. He's not he's a bigger dude. I mean, he's already 6'2", probably close to 200 pounds. So he's got a cannon of an arm. So he's probably gonna be a third baseman. But dude's got a bat too. So he's not just power. He's got the hit tool, power. You're looking at slightly above average. Really good cannon. He develops a little bit more, in terms of his hit tool. You're looking at a really solid third base type player. But yeah, I don't know if he's potentially difficult sign or not. Willie tends to get that information more than I do in terms of
where's he committed to again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
The Mississippi State, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think they're necessarily that's not a hard commit like Vanderbilt or UCLA is in the past, but yeah, he's Mississippi State.
That's a good program, so we'll see.
Yeah, they were down this year, but won a national championship 2 years ago.
Right. There's a couple guys at South Carolina who are good too, and they've had some good success. That's late in the draft too.
Yeah, they had a weird year, but they got some guys, particularly pitching. They got some pitchers that'll get drafted this year for sure.
And I think we're going to take one of them. It's Noah Hall, right? Is it Noah Hall? Who's the other kid?
There's Noah Hall. There's oh my gosh, I'm blanking on. He was
two guys. Will Sanders.
Sanders. I was thinking Wilson, but I knew it wasn't Wilson. But yeah, Wilson. He was looked at as a top 25, 30 pick going to the year, but he really struggled this year. Okay,
all those guys did. I think Noah Hall had a tough year too. So all those guys did.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Gonzalez to the White Sox.
Oh wow, that's interesting. That makes sense. I mean, that's a system I don't think that has a lot of shortstops right now, and
he should stick there. I mean, he's interesting because I think he's a good defender and he's athletic, but he is not fast at all.
He doesn't run.
No, he can't run. He's got looking at different run grades. Where you're looking at a 40 run, 40 run grades. So he's a good fielder. He's an average, just slightly above average fielder, but
he's Gabby Arias. Then what you're saying, because Gabby Arias doesn't run. I said they don't have shortstops, and they have Colson Montgomery, so I lied. That's stupid, but
oh yeah, but no, it's still though, yeah. But it's a college bat. I don't know. I feel like he could go to third. I think he could stick. I think I'm always big on sticking guys at short and proving that they can't play there.
Agreed. Sounds like what the Guardians do. I think you've been brainwashed a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's part of our problem.
Subjected to this too much. I don't know. I'm going to freak out if it's Brock Wilken. I'm going to freak out, and Brock Wilken might end up being a bust. I don't know, but I would just be excited for a guy that winds up being a 25 home run hitter and gets on base. Give me another Carlos Santana type. I know people didn't love Carlos Santana. Oh, but Carlos Santana was a nice player. He
was an all-star.
20 to 25 dingers, 350 OBP, great defender at first base. I know people are I hit to 220 or 230.
He was so quality.
A guy in the corner has an 800 OPS and hits 25 homers.
Right. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with have. I mean, he didn't do like his value wasn't the flashy, like the super flashy stuff. So you didn't see like his batting average was never super high. He never hit like a ton of home runs, but like he put up quality defense, walk a ton, hit for some power, good base runner. Like give me a 3-run or a 3-WAR player every year. Jeez, man.
Replace Josh Bell in the Guardians lineup right now with
that
peak Carlos Santana, like peak.
Oh, that's huge. That would be so nice.
Right.
Now
I got a couple questions from Mike. Any comment on the rule change about adding players to the 180-man domestic limit? I think it's 15 days now.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know.
I wonder if that encourages them to like do a draft and follow later, because there were a couple teams that did a draft and follow last year. I don't think the Guardians were one of them, but I don't know. Our boy Arthur says that, or our guy Arthur says that they are at 175 right now, so they have to make room to sign 21 picks if they're going to sign all 21. But that's after they sign them, though. So they have
a while.
August.
Yeah,
you have August to sign them. So there'll be some releases before then, and some guys that are hurt. So they just got to create a lot more spots. And then, I said, did Jeff Ellis pick the White Sox pick again? Yes, he did. Jeff's good, man. Jeff's been doing this for quite some time. Jeff knows tendencies better than anybody.
Yeah, he's good at it. Yeah, he's been following for a long time.
Yeah, he's a freak in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I cannot do this at the level that you or Willie or Jeff does. Like, the only reason I have draft fever now is because like the last 3. Well, I was forced to get it in 2020 because what the hell else were we going to talk about?
Yeah, there's nothing else going on.
Right. So I got it in 2020, and then 2021 I had to spend a lot of time catching back up on what we missed. And then the last 2 years, I feel like I've caught the fever, especially this year, because the minor league system's been not so fun to talk about this year.
Yeah, it's been weird because like you got guys getting promoted and like they're actually in the pros doing stuff,
which is good. That's what you want them to be doing.
But it's just that there's been guys that like haven't progressed like you thought or expected to have better years, or it's like the same guys over and over. Like, I mean, Rocchio's having a good year. It's not like a bad year by any means, but it's like we've been talking about him forever.
Right. That's the thing. I feel like we get a lot of burnout on like guys like that, and George Valera. You get prospect. What do they call that?
Prospect fatigue.
Yeah, prospect fatigue. Post hype. All that
fatigue.
stuff. What else do we have here? Is this the Giants? Someone said the Giants are taking Bryce Eldridge. I don't know where I saw that.
Really?
It's gone.
I mean, last year they took Reggie Crawford, who was he was the pitcher from Connecticut, he was a pitcher, first baseman. I mean, he's a pitcher in the pro ball, but I mean, he was a two-way guy, and he didn't play at all last year because of, I think he had Tommy John. So, but they're not afraid to go after those types of players. But I mean, they typically go college, but
right.
I don't actually know the last time they took I'm trying to think of the last time they took a high school
kid. Ooh, I don't know.
Kid first round. Because last year's Crawford, they took Will Bednar before.
Oh, that's right, because we wanted Will Bednar at the time.
Yeah. There it is. You're right.
Bryce Eldridge. Wow. Well,
he was announced as a two-way player.
Whoever said that on Twitter said it was right, but yeah, who are their last couple first rounders? I don't even know.
Reggie Crawford, Will Bednar, Patrick Bailey.
That's a college player too, yeah.
Hunter Bishop, college player.
Yeah.
And I think before that was Joey Bart. So,
ooh, ouch.
They're allowed. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, you're right.
And they announced him as a two-way player, so they're going to let him try to do both. Yeah,
that's fun. I would have been interested in him for the Guardians. I mean, he's
so interesting because, like, I mean, he's a massive human being. You know, you're like 6'7", 235, 240 as like a 7 or like an 18-year-old. That's a big dude. Like it's big and like developed. And I liked him better as a pitcher. What he offers in terms of hitting is like, I mean, he's got like great exit velocity numbers if you look at, his from like the showcases and everything. But But
I wonder what his signability is.
It must not be too bad if they're taking him here. But because I mean, he's a James Madison commit, right? Oh no, that's where he goes to James Madison High School.
High school, yeah.
He's
well, that would be a big get for that college.
Yeah, seriously. He's Alabama commit. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him better as a pitcher, like I said, but I don't know. Let's see what they can do.
You got him going to the Orioles, so you weren't too far off.
No, it was right. I mean, it's right in that that middle teens ish range makes sense.
Your whole mock just went sideways though after the Rockies took Dollander, and then
that just messed everything.
Now it's
having got one right, and we're not going to.
Well, actually, you can go back and say that the Athletics messed it up.
They messed everything up. I mean, we're not going to get 17, 18, 19 right. So the next three we cannot get right. They're all gone.
I hope they get 20 wrong, but we'll see. What do you do if Waldrop and Wilkin are there? I mean, I think if they're both there,
it'd be hard to pass on Waldrop. I just as his organization, like the stuff he has is so good. Like his split might be one of the best pitches in this whole draft. Like not just like secondary offense, it's nasty.
And I trust here's the thing with Waldrop, if anybody's listening and is not familiar, like he had a bad ERA in college, and we've talked about how Florida is just terrible at pitching development. They kind of hamstring their guys, calling the worst pitches, sequencing. They call the game from the dugout, and they don't let pitchers throw their best stuff. And they're worried about winning right now. They're not worried about developing major league talent, which is kind of funny to me because I feel like if you are sending guys to the pros who are really good and you have a good pipeline, you're going to get better players recruiting, and you might win anyway. But they're trying to win at all costs right now, and they're not worried about how this guy looks at the next level. So Hurston Waldrop, part of his performance issues this year and the reason he's even in the 23 range is because the fastball's bad. Like he throws 97, I think.
Yeah, no, it's not like he's throwing 91, 92 and just has like some nasty junk, but he's legit 97, 98. It's just hittable. Like I think there's some command issues too. But his off speed stuff, I don't know off the top of my head like what kind of advanced metrics there are on his like his slider and his split, but they don't. It's just not a hittable pit. They're not hittable offerings.
No, Waldrop. I mean, I trust the Guardians. Like if the fastball is in need of a shape readjustment or however you want to describe it, he needs help making it into a better pitch.
Right.
That's one area you can trust the Guardians to figure it out. Like,
right.
He's throwing 94 to 98. He's got a screwball changeup, which is a splitter. He's got a good slider. It's a slam dunk starter's miss, but it's just the fastball needs to be tweaked. And that's the thing you can safely say the Guardians can do.
Yeah, they can do that. So if he's there, I'd be pretty surprised if they did not take him.
Over Brock Wilkin, you think?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah,
I think that would be the pick. But I mean, you never know.
Wilkins just on the fringe, like you said. Are we trying so hard to make it make sense?
We're he's performed. He's not what we've been taking. So let's make that happen.
No, but I think Wilkin can play third though. That's the thing. Like it's not like he's a guy who's first base only. Like I think Wilkin can play third. I don't know that he'll be a Gold Glover, but I think he can play third.
He can play third. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, maybe you try him in the outfield too. Like
there goes Bradfield.
Oh, who did he just go to? I didn't see that. The Orioles. Ooh,
yeah. Did not.
The Orioles stocking up outfielders so they can trade the Guardians. Heston Kjerstad.
There you go.
They're going to replace Kjerstad with Bradfield in the system. Yeah, I don't know.
God, he could fly.
For what it's worth, I don't see the Orioles trading Kjerstad for Shane Bieber. For anybody who's trying to run with that, I don't see it happening.
No, there's no way. Why would you if you were that?
I wouldn't. No, I mean, I would go after a pitcher that's having a better year than Bieber. I don't know if that one. I don't know if it exists. The pitching market this year and the trading deadline is going to be awful. I think we are in for one of the most boring trade deadlines ever. Remember how often? What was it back even in 2016? We'd be chatting on Twitter and being like, "I need rumors. I need trade rumors."
There was stuff going on. There was like big trades. I remember. Shoot, there's always like big trades around the the All-Star break. I think that's when we got
Brad Hand trade happened the day after the All-Star game.
Yeah, it was a Brand Hand trade. I remember I was legit. I was taking a nap and I woke up to you messaging me saying that we traded. I was like, huh?
And that's not going to happen this year. I'm telling you, this is going to be a really boring trade deadline.
I mean, no, like I said, what was it? What's today? Sunday? Yeah, I told you, this happy CC Sabathia trade day. You got traded on July 7th.
Right.
So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that there's been there's no rumors at all. Like there's the John Morosi stuff that he's putting out there that it's like nothing.
Just trying to create
just conversation. But there's nothing. I mean, but besides that, there's been nothing. So I think you probably are right that that's probably going to be a.
And that's not that I don't like the extra wild card, but it is on Major League Baseball that they implemented the extra wild card, and now we have 0 trades to get excited about because
it's just why would you give up whenever there's a legit chance you could really
so dumb. All right, so Bradfield's gone, which a lot lower than I thought.
So to the Brewers next. So they like college. They like college.
Who are the Rays going to take that's going to either surprise everybody or piss us off? Oh, the Rays are going to take Brock Wilken, aren't they? No.
Ooh, that would be fun or funny.
No.
Not fun, funny.
The Rays and the Cardinals are like that. Those two teams out there that are just out to ruin our day as Guardians fans. They always take players they took Jordan, that 2020 draft. The Cardinals had, what was it? Jordan Walker, Tink Hence, Ian Goodell.
Oh yeah.
That whole draft, I was like, that's the Guardians draft. Why did the Cardinals just have the Guardians draft?
It was the best draft. I loved that draft so much.
Yeah, because Tink Hence and Jordan Walker look like stars, and I think Ian Goodell will get it back together eventually. Although they did take what's the pitcher's name from UC Santa Barbara? We didn't really like that. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's the next Shane Bieber," but we're like,
yeah. But it's
you hated that guy. You were like, "No, if the Guardians take him, I quit."
Yeah, I was so anti him because it just doesn't make sense. I felt like it was a lazy draft take. Like the Guardians are going to take him. I can't. I think I just purposely blocked him out of my head.
Yeah, I remember because everyone's like, the Guardians are going to take him, and I'm like, this is going to piss you off because he is. You think Mike McGreevy? Yeah,
McGreevy. Yeah.
How is he doing? I got to look now how McGreevy's doing because.
Yeah, you have to look that up because, like I said, I just kind of block. I'll follow the draft stuff, but there's a lot of times I just once the draft's over and they're not drafted by the Guardians, I just stop paying attention to them. So,
he's off to a decent start. He is not missing a whole lot of bats.
That was a big issue with him. It was his advanced metrics I think weren't that great, but he throws strikes.
No strikeout potential. No, he's made 13 AAA starts this year, and he has had 54 strikeouts and 72 innings.
Yeah,
he's also got 22 walks, which isn't terrible, but yeah, he is not missing any bats, and he is effective.
That was the big issue. Is what do you like? You're not missing bats at that level.
Yeah, the metrics did not like him at all, and that's kind of proved out so far. Brewers, no. Oh God. Oh, my favorite NL team, the Milwaukee Brewers, just absolutely sandbagged me.
Oh, no.
Oh, I need a cigarette now. God damn, I don't even smoke. Oh, this is garbage. How are you going to do me like this, Milwaukee Brewers? I love the Milwaukee Brewers. Why would you do that to me?
They have great uniforms.
They do have great uniforms. No.
I don't have the pick in yet, so I'm just...
I hate this. My night is officially ruined.
Hey, at least they went to your favorite NL team, so you can root for him still.
I guess, but I'd rather root for him hitting home runs into the bleachers here.
Cole Emerson, come on down. Ow!
I'm throwing stuff at you now. Damn. How did this happen?
We were doing so well with our mock, and now I'm just going to rip it up and throw it away.
You guys had... Oh, you weren't going to get it right.
We had Wilson there, but I blame
the Athletics. I blame the Athletics.
I do too. They messed everything up. They always mess stuff up. I'm told. Well, here I told you the other day. I told you and Willie he's the next Matt Laporta. So there you go.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
Here you go. Blame Jared.
We have not blamed you yet tonight. Now we're blaming you. Oh my God.
That's what I get for picking him in our mock draft.
Oh, I even tweeted. I said this is the next time Brock Wilkins takes a game and a bat in a game that counts. It'll be for the Guardians system next year. Willie told me I jinxed it. No.
Hey, there's still some really fun guys out there. Like,
no, the draft is over. The draft
is not. Can I interest you in a Colin Houck or a Namala or
I'm on board with Arjun Namala.
Yeah,
I want to know where all these reports were coming out with Namala. Like the last second, they were like, "Oh, people are worried about the strikeout rate." I looked up his numbers. He struck out less than Colt Emerson, and I think actually Colt Emerson had more home runs than him. But I also am confused by that because Namala has more power than Emerson currently. Yeah, and I feel like Emerson's playing against worse competition though, probably.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, for sure. But like with because Namala's down in Florida, so that's an automatic. That are going to face better competition. But a lot of what Emerson, why his stock really rose, because he did so well in the summer and in the fall, like for Team USA. Like he was putting up great numbers and he was putting up awesome metrics. So like that's a big reason why he jumped so much. So it wasn't like he was, just beating up on Ohio high school pitching. It was he did it at a very high level. So Tampa Bay is the interesting one here. What are they going to do?
I guess if I'm going to make myself feel better about not getting Brock Wilken, I feel better that they went ahead. He went ahead of them.
Yes, you didn't have a chance to. Right.
Yeah, you didn't like if they would have taken Colt Emerson over Brock Wilken, and look, 5 years from now we could be just throwing crap against the wall and be 100% wrong on this. But if it went on that Colt Emerson wasn't as good as Brock Wilken, I'd be pretty mad if they passed up Brock Wilken. Like at least now they never had a chance.
Right, that makes sense.
That's the only solid.
You know who it's going to be here for us, and I'm going to not be pleased. Braden Taylor.
You know what? I don't hate Braden Taylor. I know he's not exciting, but
he's not exciting.
I told you he is Lonnie Chisenhall. He's Lonnie Baseball.
I know he's Lonnie Baseball, and I don't want Lonnie Baseball.
Lonnie Baseball was a good player.
He was a solid player. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want more sizzle in the first round. That's all.
We've wanted more sizzle in the first round for like 5 years, and it hasn't happened. Like
Gavin Williams is sizzle. Gavin Williams is sizzle. I like Gavin Williams.
I guess the Speedo and Naylor were too.
Yeah, they were.
We just don't want, no knock on Carson Tucker. We just don't want another Carson Tucker.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was like 0 for 11 this week. He actually played. All I got to say is Logan Allen and Petey Halpin better be really good. Otherwise, that draft is going to be awful.
I know. That was a bad draft. Well, it was such a funky year.
I give everybody a little bit of a mulligan. And I think Logan Allen's going to be a great player. So I know you're leading the Petey Halpin charge. He had a home run today, by the way, on Sunday.
Woo! My dude. You just give him a little bit. You just need some time to get used to the level.
How about someone just tweeted this? This is an interesting point. Guardians underslot Adrian Santana. That
is Willie's dude. Is that Willie's burner account?
No, it wasn't, but that's an interesting point. I don't really know much about Adrian Santana because you want to know what? A lot of the mocks had him going much higher than this. So anybody that I didn't think was going to get to the Guardians, I just didn't bother with because
Well,
I kept looking at Matt Shaw because I was like hoping that some teams would be stupid or maybe be drunk and then forget. But Matt Shaw
he's he's young for the class. He's 17 still. I mean, the hit and the power aren't there because I think just because of how young he is, but he can run he's probably like a 70, 80 grade run. He can run. He's got an arm. He's going to stick at shortstop. It's just a matter of if you're going to buy into that he is going to develop that hit tool to be good and that power to be better. Because he's not very big. You're looking at he's under 6 foot, small frame. So you're hoping that maybe he develops a little bit more physically and you get that bat rolling. Oh, wow. Okay. Braden Taylor to Tampa Bay.
Oh, man. You know what? Tampa Bay just saved you. But look, Tampa Bay takes a guy every year that the Guardians wish they had. So, you know, be careful what you wish for. In 3 years, Braden Taylor might be like the next Jay Bruce or something. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not just throwing stuff out there, but he's not going to stick it. They announced him as a shortstop? They announced him as a shortstop.
No, they announced him as a shortstop, but he played third base. That's interesting. I wonder if they're going to slide him right over there. Yeah, no, he played third base in college. It wasn't.
Well, obviously the Rays need a shortstop. I don't think they have anybody good playing shortstop for them right now.
Nah, not like they have a giant contract there or anything.
No, I don't. I think they need a shortstop pretty badly. All right, what do we have left here? Brock Wilkins gone. So who's on our wish list? I have Arjun Namala. I have Hurston Waldrop. I don't know. Joe Whitman is an underslot. I don't really know if I love that. As much as I like Joe Whitman, I don't know if Joe Whitman's going to get to 58. So
it depends on. No, I doubt he'll go. I mean, college left. He's the best left-handed. I think he's the best left-handed pitcher in the draft.
Agreed.
But he's not going to get to 58. But I guess it depends on how underslot you go there at 23 with him if you were to go him. But you got. I mean, there's. Chase Davis is there. Yanni Morales.
Arizona guy. I don't know.
Dylan Head. That's a kind of a.
I know you and Willie have been all over Dylan Head. I got to tell you, I'm not really there with it. It's high school cold weather speed guys. They're just not my thing. I'm trying to think of other ones that have worked out, but I'm sure I'm missing somebody that's really good, but. I don't know. I think one of Waldrop or Namala is going to be there.
At this point we're at 20. I doubt that. I bet both will be there.
Well, the Blue Jays are probably in on Wald. You had Waldrop to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and we all know my success with Mock. So
yeah. Oh, hey, Joe Werner's going to join us. If you guys aren't familiar with Joe Werner, he is working with The Athletic. He's got his own site. I've got his book over here. I always keep handing my background.
Where's Willie at?
Welcome on Joe. I don't know. Willie, it's past 8:30. Willie's got to be doing something here. Joe, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Justin? How's it going?
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I got your nice shiny book right here. I told you I buy your book every year. I approve. Yeah. I buy it every year. I've got your
appreciate it.
Yeah. Joe, we were just talking about how the Brewers ruined the Guardians draft by taking Brock Wilkin. That was our guy. As far as the Guardians go, who are you in on at this point? We said Arjun Namala and Hurston Waldrop. Who else are you thinking?
Me personally, I'm thinking Ty Floyd. I like Ty Floyd from LSU.
Whoa.
Is Ty Floyd this year's Tanner Burns?
I think so. I think I tweeted out a couple days ago. I was writing the scouting report for him, and I think he made a lot of money on his last game of the year.
Oh, he was dominant.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it was all fastball.
Yep, 17 punch outs, and I went through and counted them. 14 of them were on the fastball, and I think he's got 3 above average pitches. He was living, I think, 93 to 96.
Yeah, I thought he popped a couple 97s in there. Like he was really impressive.
Yep.
Who was that against? Who did they face in that game?
That was LSU.
That was Florida. That was Florida. Yeah, that was in the title round. He went off. It was just really impressive to watch. They couldn't touch it. It was just all fastballs.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in.
He mixes in, he's got I think he's got an above average slider, and I think his changeup's one of those where I was a huge fan of Justin Bybie's changeup heading into the year, and I think that was really underrated. And I think Floyd's changeup kind of falls into that category too, where I think it's pretty sneaky good.
Yeah, I think I had Bybie's changeup at a 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if Ty Floyd's is like a 55, I'll take that, especially if you're talking about a 55 fastball, maybe a 60.
Yeah, like Jared said, I think he popped a couple 97s, but I think he's a guy that probably lives more in the 93, 94, especially on the shorter runs in the pros.
I would be okay with that. Are you getting Ty Floyd under slot because he's a college guy? I mean, they don't ever go to full slot with anybody, but are you getting him at enough of a price where you can maybe move some money to somebody else?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, with the way the Indians approach the draft, especially with college arms, Gavin Williams is kind of, the stand or the lone outlier in terms of their pitching prospects, where he was a first rounder. But I think Floyd, I had him more as an early second round pick heading into that last start, and then I think big game, light shining bright. I think that definitely made him some money, and I think he goes.
Oh yeah,
first round.
Did the Blue Jays take Namala? Oh man,
Waldrop, he's gonna be there.
Waldrop's gonna be there. That'll be interesting. I mean, I can live with Ty Floyd. I don't know that I was really on him, but I could live with that.
I wasn't on him at 23, but
I mean, he's an SEC performer. They like SEC performers, and it's hard to say he's not, right, considering what he did in that last game. So,
and I think the Guardians as an organization, right, they find these guys that are kind of undervalued in terms of arms, and within a year, they sprinkle the little organizational dust on them, and they come out, far better pitching prospects. And I think, I don't know, that's who I would lean with if I was them, but. We'll see what happens here.
Which means the Cardinals will take him because they're on the clock now. The Cardinals continue to have Guardians drafts every year.
Yeah,
you like that.
We were just talking about the 1 year we were hoping the Guardians would take like Jordan Walker, or Tink Hence, or Ian Bedell, and who else have the Cardinals taken that have really been out from under the Guardians? I'm trying to think, but that draft specifically, really, they picked the Guardians rug out from under them.
Yeah. So, how do you guys think? I'm sorry I was late. How do you guys think the first round playing out?
The Athletics ruined everything. That's all I'm going to say. The Athletics ruined everything.
they always throw a wrench in everything. So, yeah, I did not see that coming.
Joe, how I haven't heard your perspective on Colt Emerson, and I again, anybody listening, if anybody shares this with his family or friends or Colt himself, I don't want to act like he's not a good player, but the Guardians have so many of Colt Emerson's type of players, so I'm curious what your thoughts are on him.
I like the bat speed. I like the bat. The question is always the level of competition that he's faced against, because I actually looked. I think there was something only a couple thousand people from whatever small town he was from. It's not a very large town.
It's super small.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're probably not getting the cream of the crop, but he also held his own on when he was at Team USA too. I had it here. I think he had 360, 360 on Team USA for the World Qualifier Cup, I believe, for the 18U last summer, I believe. Maybe my numbers are wrong. I'm just going off of memory here.
No, I think that's accurate.
Yeah,
and even his swing and miss at stuff in the zone and stuff out of the zone and all that kind of stuff. He had really good advanced metrics in the summer and the fall.
Yep. Yeah. So I like the bat. The only I like kind of those younger guys too. He lets it all fly too when he's hitting. He doesn't get cheated at the plate, and I think he's a guy that could probably stay at short. But if he grows into more power, he might end up shifting to second base or the hot corner. But I like him, and I was thinking before I logged on too, because I know he's been tied to the Indians or the Guardians quite a bit heading into the draft. And 20 years ago, the Guardians would have had an advantage because he's from Ohio and you're kind of scouting him in your own backyard. But now with everybody having access to, social media and everything like that, the Guardians really don't have that homegrown advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the skill set is just something with the Guard. I know they like young for class, the contact. So you think the bat is good enough? You just wonder if the competition's there. I mean, that makes sense. But I don't know. I guess they like the famous performers, as Willie always says. So he has the USA, the Team USA back there. I mean, if he's performed well there, that gives him something. The Cardinals took Chase Davis. Is that in?
It just says the pick is in. They haven't announced it yet.
That's an interesting pick.
They like college. They don't.
I'm just so skeptical about guys from Arizona hitting because of the air there, and this was the first year he really did it, right? Like he came a long way.
Right. Yep, Davis it is. I'm trying to get Willie on here too.
Come on, Willie, where you at, man?
That's why I just messaged him. Where are you? It's almost 9.
He said he was tied up until 8:30. Yeah, it's almost 9. Well, we know he doesn't drink. He's not at the bar, so.
That's what he says.
I don't know. After that Brock Wilken pick, I was ready to go grab a beer, to be honest with you. Joe, what were your thoughts on Brock Wilken? Because we were really wish casting that one for the Guardians, I got to say.
So I watched quite a bit of him early in the season, and I had to go back and look at my notes when the Brewers ended up picking him. And I do think he's a guy that could potentially deal with some swing and miss issues, particularly once he gets to like Double-A. That I think I had him as the best power bat in the college class, but it's one of those. I don't know if the hit tool was going to be more than a 45. So
I feel like a 45 is probably, if you got a guy with a 45, I think you could still manage 25 to 30 home runs out of that guy. I guess I just wonder if that's enough of a bat at third base, because he's definitely a corner guy.
Yep. Yeah, going back to that Chase Davis pick, that's surprising. I'm always leery of the guys that I think he struggled pretty bad. I think he was in the Northwoods League after his freshman year in college, and he struggled pretty bad. And then I know he struggled in the Cape the next year too. So those guys kind of always scare me off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was looking at my buddy Jeff Ellis, who I did Lockdown Guardians with, and he was saying like there are a lot of guys in the Cape who have done very well and that never made it to the majors. And the track record of guys who do not do well in the Cape and make it to the majors is obviously like 100 times smaller. So if you can't do well in the Cape, your odds are not good.
Yeah, I'm looking, and again, it's all small sample size. Like I'm actually looking at his stats now. There's only 15 games, but he hit 212, and and the summer before he had 207 in the Northwoods League. So.
I'm seeing some tweets. I don't know if these are legitimate people or not, because I have a couple of streams open on Twitter because I'm trying not to get rate limited. I have a couple of people popping into hashtags saying that the Mariners are going with Colt Emerson, so that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Ty Floyd.
I'm okay with Ty Floyd. If I said he's this year's Tanner Burns, Jared, you hated Tanner Burns the year he got.
I was not a Tanner Burns fan.
No.
Yeah. I guess that's a similar profile. I just was so not into Tanner Burns. Was that 20 or was it 23 that year?
That was 20. That was the 2020 draft.
Well, but was it the number 23 pick?
Yeah, they took him, and then they took.
He was 36 actually.
Oh, yeah, that was the Carson Tucker, Tanner Burns, Logan Allen draft.
Yeah, it was just there was talk though that he was going to go with our number 1 pick, and I was just like, no, let's not do that.
Didn't Burns? He wasn't a super hard thrower coming. I can't remember. He wasn't a very hard.
He was up to 97 in Auburn. Once he was pitching once a week, and
he had good fastball metrics too. But like there was injury. There was injury history though in Auburn for him, so there was some issues there.
And that's followed him too. And yeah, the fastball is like 93, 94 now, I think, for the most part. So. And what's funny about that is with how weird the system's been this year, Tanner Burns has kind of been a success story because he's actually having a decent year, and he's one of the guys I think we just were all kind of low on coming into the season just because we were like, all right, like the stuff's okay, nothing special, but now he's kind of had a good season, and we've had a lot of guys fall back to earth.
Right.
He probably ends up in the bullpen though, I think. Right.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know if that's the guy you want with your 36th pick going to the bullpen. Looks like it is going to be Colt Emerson for the Mariners.
Ooh.
All right. Well, I guess I feel better because not that I don't like Colt Emerson. I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready for a change from what the Guardians normally do with these kind of picks. So
let's see. Yeah, this is interesting.
If you're listening live on YouTube or Twitter and you want to jump in with any comments or questions, because the Guardians are about to come up on the clock here, feel free to jump in. We've got quite a bit of people streaming on YouTube and Twitter, so don't be shy if you've got questions or any thoughts you'd like to share, because my night's already been ruined by the Brewers, so it's fine.
Those jerks.
Yes. Well, they got Joey Weimer and they have Brock Wilken. How many exciting power hitters do they need? I know Joey Weimer's got the same probably swing and miss issues, but I really like Joey Weimer quite a bit.
So I wrote an article for my site in early April.
Feel free to plug the name of the site so people can go to it. Plug the name of the site, people can go to it.
ProspectDigest.com. And I went back and I looked, and so you had under the Houston Astros the whole general manager tree, and both Mike Elias and David Stearns. That's who it was. I know Stearns isn't actively involved. He's kind of like on a 1-year hiatus, I think it is. But in the first and second round, the Orioles and the Brewers both just targeted and honed in on college bats, and it's been really successful for them since Elias and Stearns took over. And I don't know what they know that nobody else knows, but they've really been able to kind of consistently do well by selecting college bats. So I wasn't overly surprised that Bradford went 17 and then Wilken followed up at 18. So, and I'm not sure I'm sure you guys had already talked about Bradford, but he had made some serious mechanical changes to his swing between his sophomore and his junior year. I think that's a guy that I think Bradford landed in the ideal situation for him.
Yeah, he'll be a lot of fun there. The Orioles have done a great job with college hitters. So, yeah, I trust them to – well, there were people who thought that Bradfield needed a bit more of a swing change in order to get to more of the hit tool in the pros. So, if that is the case, and the Orioles are the team that can do that.
Yeah, he looks so robotic this year.
Yeah, I agree. Now you mentioned it. He did look more robotic this year. And I think he started off kind of slow this year, too. It wasn't as –
Yeah.
He was – started off a lot slower than he normally did. Yep, there goes that.
All right. Well, all right. Here we go. We're on the clock. Let's do it. All right. Official prediction. Now we're 22 picks in. What's the official prediction?
What do you?
I'll go Waldrop.
Waldrop. I'll stick with you on Waldrop. Joe, you going Ty Floyd?
I'm going to stick with Ty Floyd, but you're probably right. It's probably Waldrop.
I mean, everyone says Waldrop is a fastball tweak away from having really he already has nasty stuff, but he's a fastball tweak away from being like a dude.
Is he gonna throw out strikes though?
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Strikes. Yeah, they don't really. That is the thing. They do good with guys who throw strikes and help them throw harder. They don't do well with the other way around. I don't know.
Yeah. There was a lot of. I think it was Pipeline. There was actually a couple places I think mentioned Sammy Stafuro that we were interested in Sammy Stafuro, which I would not. Yeah, I would not be interested in.
Whoa! Joe Doyle says the Guardians are taking Rafael Velasquez.
Whoa!
That is out of left field. Wow! I
love Rafi Velasquez.
Is he a catcher?
I'm not sure. High school guys, man. The bat though is so good. And that's not, that's not a typical, bat that we would pick, really. I mean, he's a stick first guy. Like he is.
I know the comp is probably not always 1-to-1, but Tyler Soderstrom is a similar player, right?
Yeah. I think Soderstrom is a better athlete. But I mean, he's got an arm. I imagine you throw him behind the plate just to, until he grows out of that spot. But the hit tool and the power. I mean, Will and I discussed: would you put pop him at 23, and we both would be comfortable with that there. I like the bat that much. He's a big dude too. He's good
that bucks some serious trends for them. Like he's, I don't know, is he? The last time they kind of did something like this, I guess, is Bo Naylor, right?
Yeah, Bo's better athlete, and I think you're banking a little bit on him developing a little more as a hitter too. And Bo played he played all over the place too. I don't think he was strictly a catcher in high school. Is that right? I can't recall, but I think he kind of played all over the place.
That's a good question. I don't know. He was I think Bo was a third baseman.
Yeah, he was kind of. I remember Keith Law saying that he would have moved him to second base right out of the gate just because he believed in the hit tool and he would get to the majors faster. But I like Velasquez a lot personally. I did not necessarily think 23 would be the spot if that is the case. But I mean, who you said Doyle mentioned that as the pick.
Yeah.
So I think that he's gotten everything right so far. So.
Yeah, Doyle hasn't missed yet. He's a good one.
I mean, I'm imagining they're taking him as a catcher, just because I don't imagine them being like, oh yeah, let's take this high school first baseman at 23. That's just not. You're bucking trends a little bit in the last couple, like last year, but that would be really.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know what? They need to change something, don't they?
Yeah, his hitting power right now it's above average right now as high schooler. I mean, as a high schooler, and he's, I think he's a California kid. So
California high school kids, that's where it's at. If you're going to take a high school hitter, do it from California.
Yeah, and they like it. I mean,
Joe, what about you? What do you think about Rafael Velasquez?
I haven't seen much of him. That's why I've been quiet here. I haven't seen much of him. And, taking any catcher, high school or college, but particularly high school, that always scares me pretty.
He's a high school first base. Yeah, high school. I mean, yeah. But Bo Naylor, like I said, Bo Naylor was the last guy they really took like this, and I don't want to say he's panned out yet, but he's in the majors. That's the first step, right?
Yeah, he's in the majors. He's doing okay.
I mean, you're right. He's probably not the athlete Bo Naylor is. Bo Naylor is a phenomenal athlete. I mean,
right.
Is Velasquez young for the class? No.
No,
he turned 18, I think, in
May.
Yeah, so he's not really young.
But he's
take it with a grain of salt, but the pipeline's got a 55 on the hit tool and a 55 on the power. And everything else, who gives a crap? Because if that is legitimate, then that's fine.
Yeah, and he'll
play just fine.
His swing's nice. I like it.
Wow, Huntington Beach High School. Okay.
Yeah.
Any guys from Huntington Beach that ring a bell?
They announced him as a catcher. There you go.
Okay.
I like it.
Hey, we said get a catcher this draft, right? They got a catcher.
They got him.
It was going to be a 23. Wow. I got to say that I didn't write anything about him in anything I did because I didn't have one of my Guardians type hitters because I just didn't think he was a guy that would be in their range. That is
Pipeline's got him at 6'3" and 215.
That's a good size kid.
That's a nice.
Who's to say he's done growing?
Yeah,
he might just outgrow the catching position.
I'm shocked, man. I have nothing to say because I said that I spent a lot of time on the guys I thought would go to the Guardians, and that was not a guy I thought would go there. So I'm kind of Ryan Park says that Nick Prado's from Huntington Beach High School. So hey, Nick Prado is a nice player. I'm down with that.
Hank Conger.
Yeah, I knew someone.
I don't like that as much. that didn't turn out too good for Hank Conger. He's a coach now, I think.
Yeah. Catcher too. He was.
He had a nice little career, I guess.
So there's been 5 guys out of Huntington Beach to make the big leagues: Conger, Prado, Collison Ballister, Howie Clark, and the immortal Jack Brohamer.
Okay,
he was drafted by the Indians, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. 67.
Wow. That's quite the list. Man, I got to be honest. I'm pretty stunned here. I don't have words because again, I didn't really look at him because I just didn't think that was their type. But they're going to buck some trends. If you're going to,
he's
he's not a high school shortstop. Okay, that's a good start. Maybe I don't know. He might be
a hit tool, no real power.
Right.
No, he's got a nice left-handed swing. It's
he's an Arizona State commit, but Baseball America says he is signable. I mean, they're not taking him at 23 if they don't think he's signable.
No, they're not. I doubt we'll, especially with cutting down to 20 rounds now. I can't imagine that the Guardians.
And he's an outside of everybody's top 30. It looks like so.
Yeah, no, he's not. It's not that far off of 23. It's a reasonable.
Well, it's
not like whenever the Red Sox took York in 2020, where it was like, whoa.
Or the Royals taking Blake Mitchell.
Man, I like Blake Mitchell. That was kind of out of left field too, but I really like Blake Mitchell.
I think actually didn't we in our mock we got that. That was one we got, right?
Really?
I think you did get
that.
We did. Yeah. What's your record right now? Because after Gonzalez or Wilson, you guys were totally on your head.
We haven't gotten one right since. Hang on. It might have been Mitchell.
I thought Teal was going to end up in Kansas City.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, that I definitely couldn't have thought that.
So what do you think? How far under slot you think the Guardians signed Velasco?
Do you think he's an under slot guy? That's a real good question. I mean, I don't know.
They don't. I mean, Willie remembers this better. They don't initially go like super under. They don't really go under slot.
They don't go to full slot on anybody. They don't. They've never given anybody the full slot. And
that's what
DeLauder was their highest signing bonus ever for a college player. I think for a college position player, I wouldn't be surprised if that comes. I mean, I don't know what did they pick last year? 12, 13?
DeLauder?
Yeah, what was that? 12?
No, that was
16.
16, yeah.
16? Yeah, I don't know what the Braves.
Yeah, Braves went Waldrop.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that because that's just they're gonna wind up getting. Yeah. Now I'm really okay. So now we got to talk about who's going to be there at 58 for the Guardians. I know we're not sticking around that long. I can't do that tonight, but I'm really curious to see.
I don't know. Like there's still like a lot of guys. I mean, Colin Hawk's still on the board right now. Like there's a bunch of. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It could have been a signability issue. There's Aiden Miller still there. Once again, could be signability. George Lombard Jr.'s there. Walker Martin's there. Charlie Soto's still there. Dylan Head. Like these are all like younger or high school guys, but Joe Whitman's there.
I don't know. There's no way Joe Whitman's getting to 58. I just don't see it. That would be wild.
Yeah,
that would be wild. Joe, have you seen or looked at Joe Whitman much? I mean, he obviously has been a guy who's came up draft boards very late.
Yep. I had him. I just had to pull up my report actually since you guys because I have a terrible memory. I had him a 50 fastball, which is an average fastball, above average slider and changeup. Again, the command, I think he's more of a strike thrower than an actual command guy.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a back end type of, if everything works out, like a number 5 type guy, number 4, number 5 type guy.
I'm okay with that at 58. That's interesting. I mean, he's had a lot of late helium too. A guy who's developed late. I wonder how much untapped potential there is there since Purdue did nothing with him. His story was interesting. I was listening to his interview on Pipeline Podcast, and he was saying he basically only went to Purdue because his dad went there. And he didn't even realize that he could pitch in college. Like other coach was like, no, yeah, you can pitch. And then Purdue I don't know, they didn't agree. And then he got out of there and now look what happened to him.
Yeah.
During the time I was watching some of the game tape of him, his fastball did really well above the belt. So I don't know the metrics or anything on it, but he seemed to live above the belt with his fastball. So,
that works. Yeah, I just wonder if there's like a lot of untapped potential there because like you only had the 1 year at Kent. Kent's put some good pitchers out there, so I just wonder if there's like he's just starting to scratch the surface of anything he can do.
All right. Well, he went to the Cape. I mean, he made what, one start in the Cape this year?
Yeah, like one or two.
Yeah, he dominated. His last one, he was absolutely nasty. So
Kent's kind of one of those schools too. For the last 30 years, they're kind of an under the radar baseball school. Like most people don't.
They have an amazing pitching coach there. That's what I've heard. Is their pitching coach there is he's been there forever, and he's the reason pitchers go there and why kids develop and why they put out pitchers on a somewhat regular basis.
Eric Lauer from the Brewers.
Yeah, Lauer's had a great year, and Chafin is only a reliever, but I mean he's had a nice career. I think people thought he was going to be more, but he's turning. I mean, he got a nice contract from the Diamondbacks this time around, and he's got a few.
Remember I'm going to probably butcher his last name, and I just remember him with the Twins, Matt Guerrier, or the reliever.
Oh yeah, Matt Guerrier. I can't pronounce that. He was a Kent State kid. Yeah, I didn't remember him being a Kent State kid. Okay.
Yep, he's Travis Shaw, Kent State.
Yeah. Shaw. Yeah.
And then Justin Hermanson, who went third overall. Man,
I didn't even know he was a Kent State guy. Wow.
Yeah, I remember I went and saw him play in college when I was like early on in high school. I went and saw a game there, and he played. He hit a home run. He was a two-way guy, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
And John Van Scoten?
Yeah. That's
he was a two-way guy.
Yeah, he was a two-way guy. That's the guy I was thinking of.
So Kent's turned out a lot of big league talent over the years.
Yeah, there's a reason nobody else in the MAC can ever compete. Like Akron, as an Akron grad, I have to say Akron should just fold their baseball program back up. Like, what are you even doing?
I got one more name for you from Kent, who I think belongs in the Hall of Fame. Thurman Munson.
Yeah, I knew that's where you're going to go. Yeah. I think it's an insult to his name that they still have that ballpark in Canton named after him. They got to do something about that ballpark, upgrade it or do something different. Because I went to that ballpark to see Menor play Maslin Jackson one year, and I was still at the News Herald. Yeah. In that ballpark, man, I felt like I was going to die sitting there.
That's burned down.
They need to do that's an insult to that guy's name. Like if you're going to name a ballpark after somebody, take care of the park, man.
Right.
Make it look nice.
Oh, Dylan Head, San Diego.
Yeah, you liked him.
Yeah,
Oh man, Anthony Castrovent's tweet of the night: Ralphie to Cleveland. Hope he doesn't shoot his eye out. That is such an Anthony Castrovent's tweet. That's a good one, though.
Well done, Anthony. Well done.
Yeah. Only fitting that a Ralphie goes to Cleveland. Did you know they made a new movie out of?
Yeah, the actual cast, like the real,
they put together a new movie, and it's not even shot in Cleveland. It's shot in Germany.
Yeah, it was shot somewhere random.
What was the point of that?
I don't know, but they actually use like the original cast and everything. I thought that was pretty cool because they're I don't know if they're gonna do it, you might as well do it right. Do it in Cleveland.
Yeah, the mom from that was still alive. She was in it. The dad who played in that movie was passed away. So yeah, I watched the first half and it was that's all right.
Yeah.
We're getting into Christmas movies here. It's July. We're talking about MLB Draft.
Christmas movie.
It's kind of like Christmas.
This has got to be Stafura.
Oh, are the Yankees up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys want to do? You want to go to the end of the first round and then call it a night?
Sure.
Yeah, that works. We got a few more picks left. That's not that bad.
Yeah, I got to do some writing, and then I haven't even eaten since I got home, so I jumped on, did Lockdown Guardians, and now I'm over here doing this. So
you need sustenance.
No.
Sure. I don't know if you guys already talked about him. You guys like Thomas White, that high school lefty?
This is my personal preference. I don't like any high school pitcher in the first round, at least for Cleveland. They do so bad.
Yeah, I'm not
high school pitchers in the first round are scary.
I'm not big on it.
I mean, like him?
But
what's that, Justin?
Are you big on Thomas White?
Yeah, I liked him. But again, it always comes with the risk of, there's no such thing as a pitching prospect. and if there is, he better be older.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's still a lot of. There's still some interesting college bats out there. Like, where do we get to the range? I know. I don't think you are big on him, but I kind of like Travis Honeyman still. There's a lot of college bats still. Like, you've got.
There's a ton.
Yorandi Morales still there. Max Anderson, Colton Ledbetter.
Yeah, he's there.
Been waiting for Colton Ledbetter. I like Colton Ledbetter quite a bit. I'm interested there. And these are guys that have been ranked a little bit higher than Velasquez some places too. So
yeah, Jake Geloff's there.
I was just gonna say him.
Yeah, Jake Geloff's there.
Virginia hitter. Are you sure?
Yeah. Bringing back Mike Pappy or
don't go there.
Don't do that.
About him.
That's the name we couldn't think of earlier. We were
when
Kyle Teal was falling. We were like, oh, someone said, is that because of the recent track record of Virginia hitters not turning out very well? And I'm like, well, Mike Pappy was a pretty disastrous pick for the the Indians back then.
I think just in general, prospects coming out of Virginia, they've kind of been. A lot of them have been busts, even on the pitching side, other than Abbott with the Reds, Andrew Abbott. Then he comes.
Yeah, man, he's been great. I've got him in a couple fantasy leagues. Speaking of fantasy, Joe, you and I, we play each other. Was it last week or was it this week we're playing each other? I think
it's this week. You're beating me, I think 7-5.
Yeah. I need to win because I fell out of first place in your league.
Yeah, I was mounting a comeback. I had a lot of early injuries this year, and I was mounting a comeback to get back.
You're right. You're right on me. So if you beat me, you could jump me this week.
Yeah, I think you're gonna pull it out though.
Yeah, my team's been really injured though. I've got half my guy Chisholm, Neto, Lewis, and of course I have a Espino in that league, and that's going great for me. But I do have Andrew Abbott in your league. Okay, I know you have him in a couple of leagues. Oh my god.
Okay.
Bryce Matthews is still there.
Mitch Jebb.
Yeah. Mitch Jebb is a comp pick or a 58.
Oh, I mean, if he's there, he fits pretty, well.
I'm just so afraid Mitch Jebb is Ernie Clement. Like it's a very punchy profile.
I got a trivia question for you guys since you mentioned Mitch Jebb because I looked it up.
Oh, no.
When is the last time Michigan State's produced a top 3 draft or top 3 round draft pick?
Okay, the guy's a Hall of Famer, right? The guy who it is he a Hall of Famer? Oh, they had a very famous. It was a pitcher.
Yep,
from the Mark Mulder, right?
It was.
Yeah,
98.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. I had
to
think about that for a second. George Lombard.
Oh, there you go. They went with Stafuro just made sense because he's from New York. That's the only reason why I did it.
Yeah, everyone wanted to compare him to Anthony Volpe, and I'm like, that's just
that's lazy. But that's why I did it because it would make sense for the Yankees to do it. Oh, get out of here!
What do you guys think of Lombard?
Bloodlines are there. I mean, that's always good, right?
Yeah, I think he's a third baseman.
I think he needs to get stronger. I don't think he's consistently.
No, I agree. I don't know. I like him, but I feel like you're just banking so much on projection, which I guess as anybody, but I think there needs to be a lot more. There's a lot more projection in there than what you would want at 26. It's like
I'm just really. Go ahead. I was going to say I'm just really curious to see if the Guardians, whenever they do get Velasquez signed, and obviously being a high school player, we won't see him until next season. But I'm really wondering if they send him out as a catcher. Like, there's a lot of places that say the arm strength is there.
Oh, yeah, I think the arm's there for sure. It's just a matter of if the defense holds up and if he stays back, if he's if he doesn't outgrow the position. They announced him as a catcher, so.
Can you outgrow catcher? I mean, Sandy Elomar was 6'5" or 6'4".
Yeah, I think it's more.
He was kind of rare.
I mean, he's like 6'3", like probably like 215, 220 right now. Is like 17 or just as a new 18-year-old. So like, if he develops physically anymore, you're looking at like 250 or so. Like that's a big dude.
I mean, being born in May, like that's under the old draft model. Being in June, he was not like anywhere near old for the class. He's only 2 months.
He's not even really old for the class now, but
He played most of his senior year then at age 17.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, why not send him out as a catcher? Like you said about the shortstops before. Like, why would you
move
like
him,
make him prove it? If he can't catch, well, let him prove it.
But does that affect the development of the bat at all? Right? If there's going to be a lot behind the plate, like how does that impact the bat and the development of the bat?
To be fair, well, again, I don't want to compare the two because Bo Naylor is a really good athlete, like you guys said, but it hasn't really hurt Naylor. I mean, I know he had that down 2021, but he rebounded, and outside of that season, catching never hurt his bat.
And that was in Double-A, right? When he struggled, he had his first, and that's a make it or break it level. And
right,
I think he was 20? Was he 21? Yeah. It's not surprising that he struggled, and not surprising that he bounced back either.
I will say I'll pat myself on the back then, and it was just pure gas that I didn't drop him in my rankings. I was like, I'm not ready to give up on Bo Naylor after one bad year, especially after the pandemic, and then catcher being such a hard position. Like Fangraphs, no knock on them, but they had him like down at like 18 that year. The next year,
they really dropped him.
And I was like, I feel like I get it. He had a bad year and he had to make some changes to his profile swing wise. But like bet on the athlete and bet on the fact that he's a catcher and that he just came off a year where the pandemic and nobody really played. Like at least give him the benefit of the doubt of 1 year, especially with everything was going on. Phillies took Aiden Miller.
Is that
what it is? Yeah. Pick is in.
I just saw it.
It's there. They haven't announced yet, but he's coming up right now.
I haven't been rate limited on Twitter yet, so that's the only reason I can still get that. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point tonight. Everybody keeps wondering when the Guardians are going to take Miles Naylor. I got a feeling the Guardians are not going to take Miles Naylor.
Nah, I don't see it unless they really like the bat, which I don't know. Where's he at?
Well, Ralphie Velasquez was not somebody we thought they were going to go after. So
no, I didn't. Well, Willie and I did talk about. I remember like maybe a week ago we talked about would we be okay with him at 23, and we are both like, yeah, absolutely. But I didn't.
And then
really
you went ahead and deleted our entire Twitter thread conversation.
So
you can't even prove that.
It wasn't me. It was Willie.
It's your fault, Jared.
It is my fault. Yeah, it is Aiden Miller.
Okay. I'm surprised the Phillies went prep there because everybody thought they were going to go with a guy they could probably move in a trade. But are they out this year?
4 years in a row they took a prep in the first round.
Yeah.
Andrew Painter.
Crawford, Painter,
I like their system though. I mean, I like Crawford. Crawford's having a good year, and I really wish Andrew Painter was healthy.
Yeah.
McAble's been good. Yeah. I watched McAble yesterday in the Futures game, man. He was good.
Yep.
He's
good. And hey, so is Joey Cantillo, man. How about that?
I always liked him in San Diego. When he was with San Diego, I always liked him. He had that one stellar year. What was it? Low A, I think he was.
19, yeah. I think he pitched one game against the Captains, and it was Lake County was in Fort Wayne. So it was on MLB TV because Fort Wayne has a decent TV setup out there, although I think it's gotten worse. But I do remember him pitching against them that year, and he was pretty good. The Padres have a lot of fun pitchers. Like I saw Jackson Wolf this year. I really like Jackson Wolf. I saw who's the other kid, Jairo Iriarte.
Yep.
That system and then of course they got Ethan Salas now. Which, hey, let's trade Shane Bieber to the Padres for Ethan Salas, right?
There you go.
The Padres love giving us their prospects, so
it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Naylor is starting to really blossom this year. It just took some time.
He's pretty young still. Like I kind of forget how young he is.
Yeah.
Or that he was the 13th overall pick. Like he was 12.
Houston here. I wonder what they're gonna go.
Probably some pitcher with some good pitching metrics. Somebody with a great rising fastball or someone who spins a good curveball.
We had they went Gilbert last year. Went Drew Gilbert last year, so that's
all right. Quick question. This has to be true. Velasquez immediately a top 5 prospect in the Guardian system.
Yeah, I mean, if you, especially if you're assuming that like Williams, Allen,
And
Naylor,
all graduating.
they're all going to graduate. So I mean, he's with like guys like Valera, really not doing anything this year, and you're Espino's going to drop out of the, not out, but he's going to drop significantly. I mean, DeLauder's going to be up there now especially if he keeps hitting and stays healthy this year. But I'd say Velasquez. He's got to be close to that top 5 for sure.
Joe, what about you? Are you
Nope.
you have not top 5?
No, I think he basically just ditto what he said.
Yeah.
I think it's hard. And, if you think about it, how often does a top 25 pick not slide into a top 5 of a farming system? Even if it's just kind of a bias that we all have where whenever you do your scouting ranking or your prospect rankings, there always seems to be some type of bias where you're adding this shiny new toy to the farm system. You feel almost obligated to list them fairly high,
Yeah, that's kind of I've always said this about Pipeline. I really like Jonathan Mayo and Jim Callis. They're good at what they do, and what they do is very hard because you got 2 guys covering the entire country of prospects.
Yep.
But I always feel like the college guys or the recent draft picks, they're always really super high, whether it's top 100 or someone's top 30. I'm they are just so high on the guys that they just picked because they haven't failed yet. You know what I mean? It's the backup quarterback thing. They haven't failed yet, so we're going to be high on them. Bryce Matthews? Is that who the Astros are going with?
I don't know. It still says on the clock here on the actual feed.
Okay.
Bryce, I mean, yeah, that kind of.
I started enjoying him more after you and Willie were talking about him. I was very interested.
Yeah. I still can't believe Jacob Wilson went at 6. It just blows my mind. I just didn't see that coming.
I'm telling you, that ruined the entire draft. Everything went
threw everything off.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Pick is in. Yeah.
Whoever the Astros take, they're going to be a good hitter, let's be honest, or a good pitcher.
They're not bad. Yeah.
They're so good at this.
They're booing a lot. Yep.
No, are they booing the Astros or are they booing Manfred?
I think a little bit of both.
I was going to say yes.
That's fair. Yeah, I would do both.
Oh, Manfred is so mad.
Is he?
He's so mad.
Is he the least likable commissioner out of the main 3?
Oh yeah, your tweet earlier was great. His Q rating, I was like, yeah, that's about right. He is so unlikable.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He was so mad that they were booing that loud.
It's really amazing that he has overtaken who was it, the NHL commissioner?
Oh, Gary Bettman.
Yeah, Gary Bettman used to be the most hated commissioner in all sports, and now there's no question. It's definitely
man. Yeah, he is.
Him.
Yeah, Bryce Matthews is fun.
He can go get the ball. I saw a couple nice defensive highlights out there, and
he's gonna stick there.
Nebraska has got some interesting guys. What we got? Bryce Matthews, Mike Boev, Max Anderson.
Yeah.
How is that team not better?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot to the,
Yeah, but in the Big Ten, how hard is it to compete in the Big Ten if you've got 3 guys who are probably top 5 round draft picks?
Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, I'm not really sure where they fell in the conference. I mean, Maryland was really good this year.
Who is a 2-way player out of Nebraska? 2 years ago? He was
shoot. Schwellenbach?
Yeah.
Yeah, Schwellenbach, yeah.
Yeah. You guys really liked him. I know you and Willie liked him quite a bit.
I like him as a pitcher a lot.
Yep.
Didn't the Guardians take him out of high school, Schwellenbach?
I don't think so.
No,
And he went to college?
No. There was somebody that we really liked. That was a redraft, or that we thought was going to be a redraft. I can't remember who though.
Oh, Joe, I was just going through your feed. You don't like Dollander to the Rockies either. I agree with you.
No, they said so. I don't have
Okay.
access to his any pitch metrics or whatever. Like I don't have TrackMan data or anything like that. But I watched him. I think the big thing with Mark Appel was fastball shape, and I just get that eerie feeling that the same thing's going to pop up with Dollander. Like something makes me uneasy about him that early.
Well, you know who's not going to fix them? The Colorado Rockies. They are not a team to fix them. That poor kid. They're gonna. I hope they don't ruin Gabe Hughes because I like Gabe Hughes. But man, I just feel bad for any pitcher that goes there because
I did like Hughes a lot too.
Yeah.
Who was the pitcher they took out of high school? Like
Riley Pint?
Yes, Pint.
He made it up this year though. He actually made his debut.
Yeah, I did.
He was walking like a guy in inning in AAA though. That was more of just a courtesy call up, I think.
Probably just say, hey, we didn't totally screw this pickup.
Yeah.
We at least got him to the big leagues. Like,
and then who is the guy they took? Electric high school arm. It was like a year before or 2 years before Riley Pint, and he didn't even get out of A ball.
No, he retired already. I think.
Yes.
Oh man.
What was Pint? Was Pint the 2017 class?
16.
6. Yeah, I think it was before that.
So it was 15. They took him. I'm gonna have to look this up now. Yeah, that kid retired. I think because he just could not stop walking people.
Mike Nicorak.
Oh yeah.
Is he out of baseball? He's already out of baseball.
He's
then.
gotta be. Yeah.
He hasn't appeared in a game since 2019.
Jeez, that was quick.
Yeah, if you're a pitcher, man,
I did not expect Colin Hawk to still be here after the first round.
No, everybody had him again, a guy I just did not even bother looking into because everyone had him mocked way higher than 23, and I was like, okay, well, no reason to sit here and think about this.
I had an early.
Although nobody had Ralphie Velasquez above the Guardians either, so I don't know. I'm still kind of really shocked, but it's a nice swing. It's a nice swing for a change, right? Like instead of
different
picking that because they could have easily gone with Aiden Miller,
Waldrop, or
it's a risk, but you know what? They need to take a risk in the first round. I'm okay with it.
There was like because usually at least like Pipeline, whenever they put out like picks, they put out like who could be picked, and they're usually actually pretty accurate. Like they don't pick the person that the Guardians pick, but they're usually in like their write-ups that in there at some point. And Velasquez was never mentioned.
No, there was not one mock out there. I think that had Velasquez to them at all.
No, I never. I don't think I ever saw him in
Emerson,
the first round.
Wilkin. No. Oh, really? Yikes.
I don't recall one, but
that doesn't make me feel any better, though.
No, no, that's whatever. But Raul. Oh, they have Seattle has back-to-back picks here.
Oh, that's where it gets really fun.
Yeah,
they're going to wind up. The Mariners are just going to wind up having the best draft just because
they have a million. Yeah,
it's set up. Yeah.
I'm just happy that time is. Yeah, they're gonna start flying through these picks here soon.
Are these the last two picks of the first round then, or is that the first pick of the last pick of the first round?
We're out of the first round. The first round's done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did a 5-minute break, and now they're actually back on.
Bryce Matthews was the last pick of the first round.
Yeah.
Who didn't have a pick in the first round?
The Mets, the Dodgers.
I think that's it. Because there's 20 picks. Yeah.
Because of money.
Oh, yeah. So it's those two. Yeah, because they went over. Man, that's motion incentive rules stupid.
What was your guys' favorite value pick of the first round?
Value pick.
Was there one?
I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think in terms of value. I don't know.
I mean, the fact that Bradfield got that far is kind of surprising, right? Like
I feel like outside. I mean, the top 5 are pretty easy to figure out. After that, I thought it was like you could make a case for so many people going so many different places. Like it makes sense. I'm not sure. Maybe
I was waiting for you to say Jacob Wilson.
no.
That might be the only one, right?
Jacob Wilson, yeah, he might be it. Yeah, I don't know.
When we were talking about that earlier, we were talking about Nolan Chanal as a potential Guardians pick, and I was like, he comes from a small conference, and so did Chase DeLauder, but DeLauder crushed his conference, and so did Chanal. And not that Wilson didn't have a good year, but like Wilson didn't perform as the same way those two did. Like he didn't absolutely dominate his conference. He just had a nice year. Like if you're going to be in a non-power 5, you absolutely have to be like the stud of that conference. And maybe he was, but not to the level that Chanal and DeLauder dominated.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
Jacob Wilson, did Wilson play on the Cape?
Yes. I think he hit really well too.
Okay.
I can tell you in a second.
Joe Doyle says the Mariners are going Johnny Farmello. I got to be honest. I would not have been unhappy with Farmello at 23 either.
Yeah, he just won. They got another pick here.
Skill set, yeah.
Jacob Wilson. Here we go.
I think he was on Team USA too. He played in the Cape last summer, but I think he's.
Grand Canyon.
So is Colin Houck going to school at this point, or is somebody just going to wind up giving him over slot in like the next?
He might over. Yeah, they might have bought him down.
I wonder if you think the Mariners bought him down?
Maybe. I mean, they got back-to-back picks here.
But they already took Emerson. That would be weird if they took
Emerson Farmello, and then Hawk.
I like Farmello, though. I think he can play.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, Jacob Wilson did well in the Cape, but he only played 10 games, so yeah, he was on Team USA. So.
That's hard to.
Who
who else is falling? But power's not his game anyway, so.
No, I know. I mean, he had 6 home runs at Grand Canyon this year, so it's like.
Which again, that setting, you should be hitting like 20, especially if you're the best player in that conferse, and you're gonna go 6. And
he only had 19 walks. He does not like. He had 19 walks and 5 strikeouts this year.
That's what I'm saying. He is Tyler Freeman, but probably a better defensive shortstop. That's who he is.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at the guys the Athletics have, when they dealt away Matt Olson and Chapman and everything, if you look at the guys that they've gone after, they've really been strong defensive players. So you think about it, where if they believe in the glove of Wilson, he kind of fits in that mold. Where was it Shea Langeliers or Langeliers? I can't remember how you pronounce his name. He's an above-average defender. And I'm drawing blanks on some of the other guys too that they got. But there's been this.
Nick Allen.
Nick Allen. He's been in the system for a while, but he's a good defender too. But I don't know if it's one of those things where they're just trying to zig where everybody else is zagging.
That's Oakland.
They like to do that.
Zigging and zagging all the way to Las Vegas.
Have they announced if they're keeping the name?
I don't even know if the deal's happening. I don't even know if they're actually going to Las Vegas. Like nobody even knows if.
Did they approve? I thought they approved the.
Yeah, I think they did.
Is it over?
They approved. They approved the money to get the new stadium.
I don't understand that. No. You know who's still on the board, and I'm guessing this is because he's going to go to college. It's Kevin McGonigal, who, and a lot of people like him. I like McGonigal's bat though. They're like Colin Houck's, or not Colin Houck, Cole Emerson, but those two.
I find it interesting that the Mariners don't have their pick in whenever they have back-to-back picks.
Right. What are you doing? Are you negotiating with 2 agents and saying which one is going to give you the best deal?
Right. That's the only thing. Like you got like 2 guys that you're trying to pick. Like, hey, you taking this or you taking this? Who's going where?
Right.
Maybe it's more TV production driven. Right.
It could be.
We got to run through this guy's bio and do this interview or whatever. Give us 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So Connor Cox's dad apparently knows. I don't know if I should be saying this on the air. Shoot, we're still recording. All right. Well, someone in the system's dad knows Ralphie Velasquez, and he said saw him play numerous times. Can flat out hit it. Big frame, legit. Another HB MLB kid, which is Huntington Beach. Yeah. And this guy's dad is a high school coach. So
high-end high school stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh, Ty Pete. Okay.
Ooh, what do they announce him as?
Shortstop.
Because he had that weird injury, right? And nobody knew what the heck happened to him.
I believe so.
He was a pitcher at one point, and then he was up to 96 on the mound, and then there was one game he came out of, and he hasn't pitched since, right? Like nobody knows. Yeah. So what do they announce him as? A shortstop?
They announced him a shortstop, yeah.
Oof. That's so weird.
They went 3 prep dudes.
Prep?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that. They've gone prep recently. They had Edwin Arroyo, and they had
Edwin,
they've gone prep heavy. Ty Pete. That's an interesting pick though for them.
Yeah, they've gone. Who else have they gone? Who they picked? 22.
That's a good system, though. I mean, they.
They go prep. Oh my gosh, I forgot how much.
Cole Young, Harry Ford.
Oh yeah.
Cole Young was really fun in last year's draft.
Those are the only 2 prep guys since Alex Jackson.
Yeah, it's been a minute. They went.
Speaking of Alex Jackson, he was the catcher in the George Valera fight the other night. Did you know that?
Oh really? No, I did not.
Yeah. So the scoop on that is that the comm system was down in that game, that nobody had the pitch comm working. And apparently Alex Jackson or somebody on Nashville, I think it was Alex Jackson, accused George Valera of stealing signs.
Oh.
And Valera apparently did not like that. And
clearly not.
That started the fight.
Well,
that's why I was very skeptical about getting deep into that on Twitter, because everyone was posting the fight, and I was like, let's see what happened first, because you never know what might have been said.
Yeah.
I mean, my first instinct was like, did he say something racist? Because remember the whole not Ben Roethlisberger, the guy from Pittsburgh and the Myles Garrett thing.
Oh yeah.
I was like a little skeptical. I was like, did that happen? But yeah, it sounds like he got accused of stealing signs, and George was not super.
George was not a fan of that.
You know, and that was weird because George doesn't have the kind of demeanor where he's going to fight somebody. Like he's never been like that. So
that's what a lot of
surprising.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that was very surprising that he got that heated about something.
And even better, the next night was Robert Gasser hit Brian Rocchio with the first pitch of the game.
First pitch, yeah.
So that's intentional. He got ejected. But back in Lake County, though, Brian Rocchio was like a hot-headed player. Like he argued with umpires nonstop in Lake County.
Oh, really?
Oh, he got kicked out of multiple games. Like in the manager, which was Greg DeCenzo, who's the Columbus bench coach now. He had to restrain Rocchio multiple times from fighting, and he didn't even bat an eye at getting hit by a pitch by Gasser. Like he just took his base, and that was it. So credit to him to grow up a little bit. Adrian Santana. The Rays. That's going to be a good pick for them.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Do you think that Sean Sullivan gets to 64?
I think it's possible. I think it's in that. He's probably in that it wouldn't shock me if he went anywhere from that 40 to 80 range, somewhere in there, depending on if someone really believes that he can develop, a little bit more secondary offerings, because he's pretty much just a fastball changeup guy right now.
Yeah, I still really want Sean Sullivan, so I'm curious. There's so many fun players and so many fun pitchers that are in that range. I kind of fell off the Jerron Watts Brown train, obviously.
Yeah, he really struggled this year.
Yeah. I don't know if I really like Mike Boev that much, because there's absolutely no punch there.
No, I'm off on him.
Yeah.
Yep, Adrian Santana.
Ty Floyd's still there, Joe. Where's Ty Floyd going at this point?
I don't know. I thought he was going towards the back of the first, maybe, before we log off, he'll go.
I'd be on if he made it to 58, which would surprise me. I would not be against Ty Floyd at 58 at all.
I'd be surprised if he lasts that long.
Yeah, I agree. What pick are we at right now? We're at 30. Yeah,
32. Just at 30.
We should go a lot faster, but they're talking like
they're just walking. Yeah, they're dragging it out as long as possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're over 2 hours now. You want to give it 10 more minutes? That's almost 10, or do you guys want to call it a night? I could probably.
Whenever. I'm just gonna be watching this though.
I know. Me too. I've got nothing else to do. Jeff is handling all the Lockdown Guardians draft stuff. I did the normal episode already.
Willie's locked in the cave somewhere.
Yeah, Jeff. Oh yeah, what happened to Willie? He was like, "Oh, I'm done at 8:30," and then he's barely.
He's talking in our group chat there, but podcast Willie over there, not podcast.
I don't know. I feel fine about the pick for Velasquez. I do. I guess I was so focused on Wilkin. Everybody had Wilkin and everybody had Emerson. Like nobody had.
They never get our picks right.
No, Keith Law had DeLauder last year in his last mock. That was it.
That's right. Yeah.
Where did you have DeLauder last year?
Mid first round. I liked him. I have to go back and look, but I can pull it up real quick. But I think mid first round.
He's performing well. He had three doubles today for Lake County.
Yeah, I pulled up his. What is he getting, like 360 or something for them?
Yeah, it's early. He has no walks, which I'm kind of surprised by. He's been very aggressive. I was waiting for a little more passivity from him. That's always my concern with guys who walk a lot in college. Like, are they more passive? Like that's why I was worried about Brock Wilkin. Like he cut his swing and miss down this year, but he walked more. And I'm like, did he just get more passive? A lot of hitters are passive. Like Nolan Jones, super passive, right?
Yep.
All right, the Brewers are back on the clock. This is another college pick, right?
I would say so. I'm guessing college hitter.
College hitter. Well, they already went with Brock Wilkin. Who else can they take from us? Colton Ledbetter,
Mitch Jebb.
Oh, I could see the Brewers going Mitch Jebb. Yeah, I could see that.
They could go Geloff and take back-to-back college third baseman. Jack Hurley, outfielder.
Jack I'm really
Morales from Miami.
Morales, yeah.
I'm surprised he's still there.
Which one?
Morales. He didn't have good Cape numbers though, but again, like Joe said, small sample size, so it's hard.
Yeah. Didn't he have some swing and miss issues too?
He did, but he had 400 this year. How bad can you swing and miss if you can hit 400 in Miami?
Yeah, that's at Miami too. Yeah,
that's like a conference. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that too.
I don't think, except for like maybe a few tweets by you or messages by you guys, I just don't think I saw anybody talking about Ralphie Velasquez anywhere. I mean, it's not a Nick York pick for sure, but like
no, it's not that level, but it's a little surprising. That might be like one of the bigger surprise picks of the draft so far.
Yeah. And they're not, I mean, I don't think they're gonna go under slot there. Like he's a high school kid and
they don't go under slot. They don't do it.
Except for what? Carson Tucker?
Colin Hawk, there he goes, Mets.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had if he didn't go here pretty soon, I imagine he was going to school.
Colin Hawk, where's he going? Yeah. Alabama?
No, that was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Mississippi State.
He was Mississippi. Alabama was Eldridge.
Velasquez is Arizona State. I feel like that can't be a strong commit. That program has not produced a ton of great players.
Joe Lampe?
That's probably good. Oh, Joe. Yeah, everybody really wanted to compare Joe Lampe to Will Brennan. I thought that was unfair because their swings were so different.
Hey, Jason Kipnis.
That's what I was going to say. The last player from Arizona State that I can really think of is Jason Kipnis.
Yeah. Barry Bonds.
That's definitely a good one. I don't know if I'd say relevant, but it's a good one.
Torkelson.
that,
yeah.
Joe? Oh, yeah. Well,
yeesh. I whiffed on that, man. I thought you were
Trevor Williams.
Yeah.
Who?
Trevor Williams.
Oh, yeah. What about, didn't Alika Williams, the guy that the Rays took?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He's not really hitting, though.
Nope.
That was kind of his.
Yeah,
wasn't that a big concern? Was his bat?
Yeah, he's definitely a shortstop, but he is not hitting at all. But we thought the Guardians were going to take Alika Williams. Remember?
Yeah.
Austin Barnes too.
Oh, yeah, Austin Barnes had a couple good years though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
He's a disaster this year, but he was good for a bit. Jeremy Booth has the Brewers taking Josh Noth, so you and Willie are going to be upset because you guys like him.
Oh, yeah.
I get too many.
I know them. Wow.
Huh. Wasn't Jacob Mizorowski a high school kid?
No, he's JUCO.
Yeah, he was a JUCO guy.
God, he is filthy. I watched him yesterday too. I watched him a little bit earlier this year too, but he is absolutely filthy. That guy is.
Yeah, that's like a fun arm angle too.
I don't know how you hit him.
Oh, good luck.
So, the Brewers have done a good job with pitching development too. I mean, they've gotten a lot of guys to the big league. So,
well, the question with him though is he also going to throw enough strikes too?
Really, not a strike thrower? I didn't know that.
So far,
a high spin guy.
4.5 walks every 9 innings.
Not ideal.
Not terrible.
No. Oh, you're talking about Mizorowski? I thought you were talking about Noth. Okay. Yeah. Mizorowski is. I can see him missing the strike zone a lot. That delivery's hard to repeat. I mean, he's like what 6'5", $160. He's like Tristan McKenzie sized.
6'7", 190.
Oh, okay. He's bigger than McKenzie then.
I'll drink of water.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I was watching him yesterday. I'm like, he turned sideways, and you lose track of him.
Yeah, where do you?
Mike, the mad thinker I know, is still listening. He said that Jeff Ellis. I didn't see Jeff's tweet, but he said as we get closer to robot umps, a player like Velasquez gets more valuable because we don't get framing. But I mean, to be fair, they're not worried about Naylor's blocking. Like his blocking clearly is not like great.
Yeah,
if you got a great arm, then who cares?
Yeah, you're banking on that bat carrying you a lot, but it's a nice swing.
I'll take it. California prep hitters have at least have some good track record. I'll take it.
Yeah, we like them. So
that's what Willie said. He goes, "How did we miss this one?" I mean, I don't think you guys missed it. You guys did talk about it, but like I said, nobody mentioned him a ton.
No, not that I saw outside of like us just kind of throwing his name out there a little bit.
All right. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. I don't think we're gonna continue on to pick 58. I would love to say that I could, but I'm realistic. So why don't we predict who the Guardians are going with 58 and see how wrong we are? Joe, you want to go first?
No, because I was so bad with the first one. I thought he was going to be a surprise pick. I have no idea at this point. I'll be honest. I'm going to say college arm though. I'm going to say
college arm. That's what I was going to go.
I'll say whatever college arm. It could be Sullivan. Could be Floyd.
Would like Sullivan.
Yeah, Ty Floyd, Sullivan.
Is 58 like too early for Kiefer Lord?
I think a little bit, but not outlandish.
Mike says Miles Naylor at 58. I don't see it. I don't think they're going there.
No, I would say 58. He's in the third round. I'd do it, but
if he gets there, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I would throw out. You know who's still there? Oh, he's still there. I don't know. I think Brandon Sproat's a reliever, so that kind of bothers me. I don't know. Do you think he can start, Joe?
I don't know. I'm a big believer in the Guardians pitching development. Like
that's fair, especially with Florida guys. Yeah,
Florida guy too. He's older, but
yeah, I think he's 22, isn't he?
This will be his third time drafted.
And he was a third round pick last year. So.
Yeah, the Mets just are weird. Who knows?
They are so weird.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Sullivan at 58, or
I mean, you could probably get Sproat undersigned, right? Because he's a senior.
Well, he has no. I mean, he has really
he
no
has
choice.
no
So,
leverage.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'd say Sproat, Floyd, or Sullivan at 58. That would be my guess. One of those three.
I'm thinking college pitching there too. I think you're right. College arm for sure. Like Tanner Hall, too soon.
I think that's too soon for me on him.
I'm thinking if Tanner Witt doesn't go in the top 3 rounds, he's going back to school, right?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I mean,
I think he should go back to school.
Yeah, he's done nothing but just struggled ever since he came back.
Yeah, he's on the Cape right now, and I don't think he's pitching well.
No.
A lot of people had Cade Kuehler as a first round pick. He's still there.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I was like, he kind of lost a little steam this year with guys rising more so than anything. I think he was shut down for a couple leagues too this year.
Ooh.
I can't remember what it was for. I think it was an arm related, but he came back though, and it was fine. But
I had a late second, early third on him. I just pulled it up. Reminds me of Dan Straley. I don't know. I just get Dan Straley vibes. Like
Dan Straley had a nice career.
Yep.
I would take that. I think people, when they think about draft, like busts or if guys are good or not, like it's a win just to get a guy to the majors and be like a average regular, or even like if he has like 1 or 2 good seasons. Like people don't realize how hard that is, and they're like, oh, this guy was like a first round pick and he only had like 2 or 3 good major league seasons. Like that's still a win. Like obviously if you're picking like 1-1, you're wanting a star, but in the second round or something, or the third round, if that guy gets there and he ends up having like a good 2 or 3 year stretch, you've got to win there.
And I think what the Guardians do exceptionally well is they find these late guys. I loved Eli Morgan coming out of what was he? Was he Oral Roberts?
No, he was Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, thank you. And I loved him coming out. And what they get him in, I think in the 8th round. And
yeah, it was late. Yeah,
they have this ability to find these very good major league relievers, you know, in the middle to late rounds. I mean, you go back, Cody Allen. Who's the guy we traded Mike Clevenger for?
Vinny Pistano. Yeah, he was a late pick.
Yep.
And him and Allen, I think both had TJ in college.
Soto to the Twins.
Oh, I don't like that. Well, they'll just trade him for.
They'll trade him. Yeah,
they'll trade him.
They'll develop and then trade.
So if you like Eli Morgan, can I interest you in Owen Wild?
Yeah.
It's like the same pitcher, but it's just Eli Morgan part 2.
Well, so did you watch a lot of Eli Morgan in college?
I did not know.
Like if I remember correctly, he was like 88 to 91, and
really?
When they took him, but he had that phenomenal changeup. Like I don't think he was cracking 92 very often.
Yeah.
And again, get him in the Guardians development system, and they find an extra gear on the fastball.
Yeah, I'm in. That's why I'm saying, we were saying at the top of this, like there's absolutely zero reason for the Guardians to have to take a college pitcher in the first round unless he is like a Gavin Williams, because you can.
Now you're making me look like a really big idiot for saying Ty Floyd.
Well, I mean, if Ty Floyd, they took Tanner Burns 36th the other year, so that's not unreasonable. But like I'm saying, unless you are like a slam dunk like a Gavin Williams, then they don't need to, because Bieber, Ivy, I know Plesac's not. Yeah, Savali. Plesac's not really good anymore, but he was at one time, and none of those Eli Morgan, none of those dudes were first round picks. Like you can trust that they're going to find guys in like the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th round, and they're going to wind up being like mid-rotation starters. So there's just so much. Would you agree? We were both saying that like the college pitching, there's not a lot of high-end college pitching in the draft, but it's very deep with like quality arms. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%. And I think there's a lot of guys too. I can't think. I don't even want to throw it out. But there's a lot of guys that have electric stuff, good arms, that just throw strikes, but what you wouldn't call pitcher strikes, like quality strikes. And if you can just unlock that, that's wall drip, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of college pitchers out there I really like this year. I mean, Jared, you guys mentioned Hunter Holland. There's Keeler, there's Floyd, there's Zach Thornton, Sean Sullivan, Tanner Hall. I'm just going off my list here. Connor Halloran from Michigan. I wouldn't be against Jackson Baumeister if they think they can figure that one out.
Mm.
God, it's such a deep class. I still want Cole Carrig. I want to see what they can do with that because Cole Carrig seems like a player. Yeah. Give me somebody fun like that. All right, gents, it's 2.5 hours here. I think I've had enough. Not that I have not enjoyed this conversation with you guys, but I've been podcasting like since 6 o'clock. So everyone's gonna be sick of my voice tomorrow, and I might not even have a voice. So any final thoughts?
No, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Are we
excited to see where this goes?
Yeah, I'm disappointed it wasn't Brock Wilken, but they didn't even have a chance, and I'm excited to see them take a swing at a guy like Ralphie Velasquez because that's breaking the mold a little bit, and sometimes you got to do that.
Yep.
So
good stuff.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure if you're watching and if you're listening, go buy this book right here if you haven't bought it yet. I highly recommend it.
Thank you,
Joe. What's your website again, Joe? Tell everybody.
ProspectDigest.com.
ProspectDigest.com, and you can follow Jared if you want. He gets a lot of things wrong, and if Ralphie Velasquez winds up being a bad player, you can tweet it, let Jared, and tell him it was his fault.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll salute Willie for whatever he's doing tonight, not being here. But thanks for tuning in if you did, and if you listened to it after as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell a friend. I can promise we probably won't do a 2.5 hour podcast ever again, but I don't know. Maybe we will. We'll talk when the draft wraps up. Maybe we will. So I'll hit you guys up again later in the week and see what you're doing.
Yep. Thanks again.
All right. See you guys. Thank you for everything.
Later.